You didn't say
right
that.
Now, yeah.
Okay.
I did say that.
Indirectly.
What I said was I've poo-pooed them all season.
Okay.
I can't poo-poo them anymore. Like, at some point, you're just being, you're being an idiot. And when you continue to see what they're doing, they beat us twice. They've won 14 games now.
Yeah.
They're better than the Green Bay Packers.
They got a better defensive
right now.
coordinator.
That doesn't mean what it means is they have done it throughout the regular season. The Dallas Cowboys were a better team than the Green Bay Packers last year in the regular season. San Francisco was a better team. Detroit was a better team. Most of the times, the better teams in the regular seasons get it done. They seed it out, and they make it onto the Super Bowl. Not every year. We saw it in 2007 with the Giants. We saw it in 2010 with the Green Bay Packers. But the vast majority of the time, it's too tough of a road. And right now, this group has too many empty possessions. And when you play really good football teams, you can't do what they did. So tonight, I tip my cap to the Minnesota Vikings. I'll be eating crow. I don't know if I can do it tomorrow, but I will be eating crow because I said that the Minnesota Vikings were not a better football team than the Green Bay Packers, and I have to change that tune. They, in the regular season, are a better football team than the Green Bay Packers.
Well, they're going to be a better team if they play in the playoffs, but it's not so much better that the Packers couldn't beat them. Right? I mean, if the Packers beat the Vikings in the playoffs, they would be beating the better team, which happens. Right? It can't change.
No, it can change.
Well,
things do change. So they do change. And, Homer, right now, regular season football is one thing. And we have now been crowned, we are the third best team in the NFC North. Period. Okay. That has been proven. What has not been proven is who is going to be the best on that day. There have been plenty of times Green Bay Packer teams and fans, I'm telling you, this happened to me in 2004. We went up and had a great Christmas Eve victory in Minnesota to win the division. We were the better team that year, but every one of us would have traded spots with that Minnesota Vikings playoff team because they came in and mooned us, beat us up at Lambeau, and advanced on. So I can understand all of this. I get fans' frustrations today. I've heard it from a lot of folks. Packer fans are very frustrated. Jordan Love isn't any good. All this other stuff. Pump your brakes. That's what I would say. They are not the regular season juggernaut team that we've seen in the past. But you know something? A lot of regular season juggernaut teams with Aaron Rodgers leading it fell short of their goals. Oh. Am I going to bet that Green Bay wins the Super Bowl this year? No, I don't think that's a wise bet. I think they still can. I would not bet that they will.
You do think they can?
Yes.
Why?
I do.
Just it's kind of off track, but upon what basis do you think they can, knowing, as you so well put, it requires an incredible performance to get to the Super Bowl, given the teams they would have to beat on the road, all of them. But you still believe they could accomplish. I would love to hear how you're still holding on to that, or why.
Did you watch the way this group played the last 7 minutes?
I did, yes.
So I am not in the camp that a lot of Packer fans, at least on my Twitter feed, of Jordan Love isn't any good, and he can't. I think he is a very good quarterback.
I agree with you on everything you've said, and I believe in this Packer team. And that guy wanted to make you a bet on the Packers winning a playoff game. I want to make him a bet. I can't do it on the air.
I can't wager. I'd have to go to Ted's and have a conversation with Ned.
But anyway,
I'm not
I just don't see how you can
illegal,
jump
so
to the
I get
final
it, Ned.
statement that I expected you'd say all those things ago. I just can't say that I believe they can accomplish all of that, and I will gladly admit
I just
I'm
said,
wrong.
But Homer,
what?
Homer, I said I wouldn't bet that. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you, Homer, who would have thought in 2010
I did.
A 6 seed was going to go in and
they were
beat
the second
Philly
best
and
team
beat Atlanta?
Yes. I said they would. Yeah, I got to get that.
Now, you did not think that road was going to be attainable. No, you didn't. We'll run the tape.
We will.
I'll find the tape and find it.
Okay, good.
The bottom line is
sorry to get off track.
Love,
Go ahead.
Yeah. Jordan Love has not played dynamic 4 quarters all season. Has he?
He might have, but I don't hold him at all for this. I wanted to address when we got done with the opening statements. Prior to their comeback, the offensive line got an F. It was horrific.
Yeah, we had a tough day. There's no question.
And then they started to get some time, and then they came back. Yeah.
I want to just make sure my point is crystal clear.
All right. I'll listen better this time. Go ahead.
No, you heard me. The Green Bay Packers regular season team, they are the third best team in the NFC North by far. That has been proven over and over.
And the fourth best team in the NFC.
They will be heavy underdogs to try and get to a Super Bowl. Right. I would not bet that they will get to a Super Bowl. I will also not throw them in the garbage can, spit on them, and say they're dead. I am not doing that. And if you want, and if Packer fans want, and if national media want to, great, go ahead and do it. I don't care. You can, and you probably have validity to it.
I don't want to.
I'm just saying, don't dump them in the trash yet. They are out. You know how if it's cold out and you got your little bins outside, you can put the garbage in the garage and wait to open the door and let it warm up a little bit. Right now, the Packers are kind of in that in-between stage. Nobody believes they can do it, but I still think people know that there is enough here that they can beat anybody, but they have not proven that they can, so I can't believe that they will.
I believe it'll be like last year. I expect them to do something of note in the playoffs. I expect them to do something of note. I don't think
they're now in position where I do believe, and somebody will have to fact check this. I do believe if Washington wins the next two, we're the 7th seed playing in Philly.
Fine.
Okay.
Fine. That would be the thing that I'm speaking of. I expect them to do something in the playoffs of note. I just don't think they can do it often enough. So no.
And I'm going to finish with this.
Yes.
As my opening, and then we can take
a break and then get all the
stuff that we do.
Shugs is ready.
So I didn't think today was going to be some benchmark. We needed this win. It would have been great for psychology. I think this is from the opportunity of where Green Bay was at coming into this game. A hard-fought loss. I wish we would have played better in the first half. We didn't. I wish we would have played better in the third quarter. We didn't. We fought our tails off and had looks to try and get the football back to go down and kick a game-winning field goal. Would have been great. Would have been an awesome win. Wouldn't have changed anything. Now you're going to have two teams battling it out. The loser of next week's game, that'll be on Sunday night, the Minnesota Vikings versus Detroit. Whoever loses that game, I think, will be in a worse spot than where the Green Bay Packers are. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's where this thing is at. So as we sit here, this loss today, while it's painful and it's a stark reminder that we are not better than the Minnesota Vikings, which is always hard for me to say. We are not better than Detroit, and we are not better than Philly. I do believe we will be positioned better than the loser of that game next Sunday night. That is what I believe.
Got it. We are ready to take the calls, but first we'll take a break, and then, we got the dog of the game. This is going to be a first ever dog of the game for me. And I'll explain when I make my selection. But, again, it's the curiosity is always with Tauscher. We'll get your call, dog of the game, all coming up. Packers lose 27-25. And I tweeted, and I believe it's accurate, the game was not as close as the final score. Tauscher, would you say that as well?
No.
All right. Okay.
No, I would say the game is what it was. I mean, what do you want them to do? Say they didn't have a chance to get the ball back to kick a game-winning field goal, second and 12? Yeah, they did. Minnesota played a better game, but Homer, there have been plenty of times. Green Bay against Seattle in the NFC Championship game played a better 55 minutes.
Right.
Does that mean that they shouldn't have had a shot? Obviously it isn't.
Okay.
So, I'm not going to go down that road.
We'll break, and then all the things I told you were going to take place next.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
This holiday season, the Salvation Army needs your help. Bell ringers are working hard, and our service depends on generous donations like yours. Every dollar donated helps us provide meals, shelter, and emergency support to families in crisis, not just at Christmas, but all year long. From immediate need to long-term care, your donation can create lasting change in our communities. Join us in making a difference. Volunteer as a bell ringer or donate today. Visit salvationarmywi.org to learn how you can help.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Nagging pain lasting for months, difficulty performing everyday tasks, not moving like you'd like? It's time to see the doctor. And I recommend Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Anytime I've needed care, the appointments are timely, no waiting weeks to be seen, and no pressure to have surgery. It's about getting the right diagnosis and choosing a treatment plan that fits your life. No question where I turn if I'm injured again. The experts in care at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's orthowisconsin.com.
Gift giving is easy with an Island Resort and Casino gift card. Every person on your list can spend their time just the way they like it. Dining, going to a concert, relaxing at the Drift Spa, playing golf. No matter the reason, gift cards to the Midwest's premier resort destination are a sure bet. To order gift cards, stop by the Island Club today or call 877-ISL-SHOW. Then spread some joy because everyone knows your total experience is at the Island.
Here it is, just before the holidays. You're sitting around trying to figure out a perfect last-minute gift that you can order quickly online. Well, how about tickets to the Greater Milwaukee Auto Show in February? Buy a single ticket for a friend, a pair of tickets for date night, or buy a family 4-pack and take everybody all at a discount price of just $11 each. They can see all the latest vehicles, including cars, trucks, and the latest EVs. For advanced tickets, go to autoshowmilwaukee.com. That's autoshowmilwaukee.com. Discount offer ends on December 24th.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sporked called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
Cousin Subs is spicing things up this fall with a new sub and a delicious shake. The Chipotle Cheesesteak Sub, with either grilled-to-order chicken or steak, features pepper jack cheese, sauteed green peppers and onions, jalapenos, and Chipotle ranch dressing. And that's not all. Pair your Chipotle cheesesteak with a delicious mint shake, and your taste buds will fall in love. Order in-store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
This is Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ. Call the Boda Box wine line at 800-990-3776.
Second down, 4-man rush. Charles gets checked this time. And it's intercepted. Picked off by Carrington Valentine. Room to run. Valentine cuts back. He lost the ball. Green Bay saves it somehow. It was Brooks that got on it. What a crazy play.
Packers lose 27-25. This is Green and Gold. Post-game Green Bay game night. Tauscher has created something even bigger than he is by the possibility of a post-game show before the end of the game. And they were going on Twitter begging him, come on, Tausch, of which I declared, and I am stating this and it will always be the case, we will never in which I'm a part of the show, which you never know how long that'll be a part of a show that leaves the game early because the Packers are going to lose. Not going to happen.
Oh, no. No, Homer, if they were down 17 with 2 minutes left, we'd have started.
No, I wouldn't have been a part of it. I'd have left.
Yeah.
No, I'm not starting.
Yeah, you would have started.
No, I would not. I'm not doing it ever.
Why?
Ever when the Packers are behind. That's against the violation of fundamental support for a team, even if you think they're no good.
No.
Nope. Well, you're gonna if you go early like that in a loss, I'm out. So you'll have to find somebody else.
Well, you'll join in after the game ends.
I'm not sure about that. I'd like to think I'm a man of principle, but in order to get paid,
listen, man, I'm not Rush Limbaugh or Howard Stern. I can't roll a show myself. I don't want to.
No, there are other people here.
But I'm telling you, we have to be consistent with what we do.
I don't want to be consistent. Unlike Jason Wilde, there is a part of me that's a fan, and you're a fan too.
For sure.
And a fan would not do that. A fan would not.
Well, I'll say this.
Some fans might.
You were getting a ton of the same tweets.
I thought it was great.
Down 17.
Yeah.
And I was crazy enough to think, you know what? All it takes is one or two. And I still don't believe in Sam Darnold. I know that you're going to say, well, you're an idiot. And I get it. You could call me that. That's fine. But he throws the ball. He puts the ball in position where.
Almost gave him a chance late in the game.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I felt like all it took was one tutter and then get the ball back. If you could cut it to 3 or to 2, which is what they ended up doing. Crazy stuff happens in this league all the time. We're in position. I didn't feel like the game was over, or I would have probably shot a text out and said, well, let's get this thing rolling, but I didn't feel that way.
If we'd been doing the Jets game. Yeah, at 40 to nothing, I think. At 40 to nothing, you'd have probably got me to do it early. All right, sugar-free. You're on with Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. The Packers lose 27-25 to the Vikings. Let her fly.
Okay, let me go for about a minute here without any interruption.
I'm sorry.
Please.
That'll be up to Tausch to decide.
Go for it.
Please.
Yep,
no,
go ahead.
Tausch won't interrupt. So this is it. Okay, just like Tausch said, Washington is probably going to get the 6th seed. We're going to be the 7th seed. And if we're in the 7th seed, we're going to have to go through all 3 teams. We're going to have to go to Philly, then either Detroit, or then Minnesota. Whatever the thing, we'll have to go all 3. So it's important to get that 6th seed so that the first game can be a little bit of a, exhale. The situation is the Packers need to be fully healthy. Okay, Watson, Alexander on the other side. They need to be totally healthy if we're going to make this run. But for next week in Chicago, I believe maybe we can beat Chicago without Love, even though somebody's going to say he needs some more work and all this. I don't think he needs work. He needs rest. The rest of the team needs rest. They need to get up big quick if they're going to play these guys and get them out of the game. So no one is hurt going into the playoffs. We need to be 100% healthy going in. Okay, not Jacobs getting a knee done on a Chicago game. More than likely, if Washington wins tonight, we're going to be the 7th seed. So it's more important to be healthy than to get somebody hurt. And then the last thing, enough of all this illegal formation, all these bad penalties. And then the last thing is...
Excuse me, Tausch, she's well over a minute. I gave him 1:30. Do you want him to continue?
Yeah, he's got his last point. Last point for sure.
Last point. And I'm done with the Packers and LaFleur when it's 3rd and 5 going deep. Let's control the ball. We can control the ball with Jacobs, but not on that. It's 3rd and 5. You're going to have to throw the ball. But you're going to have to get Reed involved, right? No Reed today, again. So those are my points. I believe the Packers can do it, but it's going to be an impossible road if they are the 7th seed.
All right. Shugs, nicely done. Tausch clearly giving you support. We went over 2 minutes, one of the longest calls we've ever had, unless you've been waiting an hour. Tausch, do you wish to comment? There were so many things, I couldn't write them all down, but one or the other might have jumped at you the most.
So I agree with Shug's point on Christian Watson needing to be back. I know fans are down on him because he's hurt and he misses some time, but he makes a difference with how teams defend us, and I think you get more space and more opportunities for some of the underneath stuff that we're looking for, and he's a big play threat every time he's out there. So Christian Watson needs to be a part of this if we're going to make a run in the postseason. I would not count on Jair for anything at this point. I thought Valentine played a really good game. Thought he competed his tail off. So I don't think the Jair component to this, but the big point on this whole game to me was you still are making those little mistakes that when you play a bad New Orleans Saints team or a bad, you just kind of insert any of the games we've won this year, Bears, whoever it would be, you can get away with that stuff. You can't get away with it when it comes to playing against playoff teams, especially playoff teams on the road. So a lot of sloppiness again today, way too many empty possessions. But lastly, on my end, I would love for the officials to try and explain what the hell are they calling on these neutral zone infractions. You don't blow the whistle on a neutral zone. You let them play, and you throw the flag, and then they go play. And the one on Green Bay before the half was garbage. The one on Minnesota in the third or fourth quarter was garbage. Like, what? Stop. Please, let's get to NFL postseason officiating. I watched some of that Jets game today. There's 100 flags. Let's please get rid of that. Anybody that was part of that officiating crew shouldn't be. Get this lined up. Get this figured out because I don't want to see it. None of our fans, nobody wants to see it. Don't call it. And if you line up offsides, let them play and then call it. You don't blow the whistle dead as it goes. You just don't.
The Boda Box Fine Wine Line, 800-990-3776. We'll get to more of your calls, and we will get to Dog of the Game. Both coming up next.
We're back with Green Bay Game Night after this on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and cola, refreshing Bacardi lime and soda, or a smooth spiced and cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume.
Clean up the new year with help from Menards. We carry all the Libman products you need to keep your house clean. From brooms and mops to cloths and liquid cleaners, we've got you covered. The Libman 14-inch angle broom is precisely cut to reach under cabinets and into tight corners. Pick one up today, plus check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Life's busy, and Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're grabbing fresh coffee, a bakery treat, or a quick meal, Quick Trip is your go-to for quality and fast service. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries, easy meal options, and guaranteed fuel, we make your day easier. Plus, enjoy perks like free ATMs, free air for your tires, and sweet rewards with the Quick Rewards program. Everything you need in one stop, and always a friendly, see you next time, Quick Trip, where your day gets easier and better.
Ho, 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 my back.
Santa?
Ho, 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 Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Yes. Next year, how about just asking for a Pella gift card? My elves are used to designing windows from other places where they're all pretty much the same. But Pella? Ho, 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 so many customizations and designs. My elves aren't qualified, so Santa has to put in some overtime. Ho,
Let me make a call. BRB.
Frighteningly fast pellet team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
Yeah, I know. Santa already lectured me. Ask for a Pella gift card.
What if you need new windows or doors, but you're on the naughty list?
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
Ho, ho, ho! Visit the Pella site, and to all a good night.
PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2024.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
We got dogs.
It's time for the Sit Mean Sit.
Yeah, we got dogs, Jimmy.
Dog of the game.
John Money Alexander. Christian Watson. Quay Walker. He's a dog. Kenny Clark. Jordan Love.
Presented by Sit Mean Sit Dog Training in Waukesha and Milwaukee. Visit sitmeansit.com.
Yes, the dog of the game. It's always a special moment because you just never know who Mark Tauscher is going to pick. And then he'll always tell us about low-hanging fruit as part of it. I'm not sure if there was low-hanging fruit today. The Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher, dog of the game. Take it away.
It's easy for me today, and I think you might say this is low-hanging fruit, but I don't care because he has been my guy for the last 3 weeks. He is a difference maker. This defense, and I know, well, they gave up 27 points. Edgerrin Cooper's different. He is what we wanted to see in middle linebacker play here for a long time. He doesn't sit back and just collect tackles 7 or 8 yards down the field. He is on the other side of the line of scrimmage. He had four
tackles for loss.
Tackles for loss today. 11 total.
Half as many as the whole team. There were 8 in the team. He had 4 of them. Yeah.
He's a dog.
He would normally win, but not today.
He's changing the pace of how this defense attacks. He is my dog.
Did he miss the tackle on that screenplay for the touchdown that put him up? Was that him? Put him up. I didn't say he was. They're not going to. No, he would normally be dog of the game. However, we have this incredible situation where the greatest run of the season, the best run by any Packer running back this season, was Josh Jacobs from 19 yards out for a touchdown, which was taken away by the holding. I never have, and I never will in the future, pick a play that didn't actually take place because it didn't count. But I hope they use that as a highlight from the season and just leave out the part of the penalty. You have got to watch that. That was Hall of Fame, dog of the game play, and I'm giving it to Josh Jacobs because, and that also gives me a chance for you to explain that. I think sometimes they call holding on an offensive lineman when he basically just whoops up on somebody. But I will defer to you. But I want to credit because this is the thing that always is toughest for me. You have Josh Jacobs have a memorable play in his career, a memorable play with one of the greatest stiff arms ever, and it's gone because of the penalty. So he is the only time someone will win dog of the game for a play that historically now did not occur. All right, back to the holding.
It was a bad call. It wasn't necessary, and Sean Ryan just finished his guy to the ground. And that's what officials will look for. And if your hand's even a little bit outside, Holding calls should only be called when your feet get beat.
I understand, but when you were in that situation, would you have done the same thing Ryan did, or what would you maybe have done to avoid the possibility of knowing what they might call?
I think you're always at the end of blocks. If you see a guy trip or if you get somebody kind of rolling, you want to kind of finish with your hands not even on him. That's a really tough thing to do. But when you're out in space and you see that, and now D linemen are getting really good at flaring their arms back and trying to draw attention so that refs see it. In the postseason, that doesn't get called. It's officials got to start tucking their flags a little bit. It's just there's too many flags. Let them play. Everybody does it. Let them play. It was a bad call. Don't see it in the playoffs.
The Dog of the Game is brought to you by Sit Means Sit. If your dogs don't always listen to you, or you ask yourself, why don't they listen to what I say, look no further than Sit Means Sit. You can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog. Contact Sit Means Sit Dog Training today in Milwaukee or Waukesha to schedule a free consultation. Go to sitmeansit.com and check out their Milwaukee and Waukesha pages. All right, who's been waiting the longest to talk to Tauscher?
Play that doesn't count.
What?
What are you doing?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, fine.
No,
Rip me forever. Rip me forever. Say it's the stupidest thing I've ever done. I'm not changing. It was that special. I feel lucky to have been alive to see that play. That was like Walter Payton. That was Jim Brown. That was Amon Green. No, I don't think Amon Green ever.
Simpson.
What?
I thought you were going to say O.J.
No, O.J. Simpson never did that.
Era.
He just ran fast. He ran past everybody. People don't realize O.J. Simpson was part of the 4x100 world record. World record.
Well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things people didn't realize about O.J. Simpson. This whole concept.
Nicely done. We'll get to the callers when you say it's
Dobbs.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Romeo Dobbs deserves some love. He had a really good day of whipping it around. But outside of that, and obviously I always get it confused. Valentine, I thought, with a big pick and did some things. Our kick. So there's a bunch of guys that I thought really competed, but we just, again, way too many mistakes again to beat a good football team, and that's why we're sitting here on the short end of the stick with 5 losses, all to the best teams in the NFC.
Yep. All right, Mo in Illinois. Mo, you are on Green and Gold or Green Bay Game Night with Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Let her fly.
As much as I want to disagree with myself on this take, I gotta be truthful with myself. I gotta be realistic.
That's what we do on this show.
And this Packers team has proven time and time again that they will not beat a top-tier team in the NFC. And they have also proven that when they play teams like the Vikings and the Lions, they continuously beat themselves up. They continue falling into the trap that has made them lose these games. Self-inflicted wounds. They can't get out of their own head. The offensive line doesn't play as strongly as they should. And there's a costly turnover. I mean, Josh Jacobs on that first drive, you fumble the ball. He's supposed to be our tone setter. And I love Josh Jacobs. But you can't do that in a big game like this. It can't happen. And then the drop passes, when it's crunch time, what scares me about this team is who's going to step up and make a play amongst the wide receiving core?
Dobbs.
I don't know. I can't give you one.
Dobbs. Tausch, who are you going to guess?
Disagree.
What can you disagree about? Oh, Kraft. Yes, I agree. Kraft, Dobbs, Watson, if he's healthy.
Whatever.
I don't know what's happened to Jaden Reed. I'm dumbfounded. He's had
I wish
6
to
or 7
say he's
games
just not as good as I thought he was. I apologize. I was wrong. Right. He can't be that good. Okay. You can't be that good and disappear.
He might be hurt. There might be something.
That's possible. But he's clearly not as good as I thought.
The last thing I want to say is this, guys. Defensively, when was the last time you guys have ever seen this team make a stop when it matters most? They're not gonna. It's not gonna happen in the playoffs. I don't see this team winning a playoff game. I really don't. I'm sorry. Right now, I don't. And it hurts me to say.
Okay, great. Thanks for the call. Great to be honest. I'd be fearful of them losing a playoff game. I guess they could very easily play. Detroit, Philadelphia, or Minnesota. Do we assume that the Packers are going to play one of those teams in the first round? Is that right?
They're going to play Philly. They're going to play the
Minnesota,
Rams.
or Detroit. One of those. You don't.
No, they're not going to play. No, they won't play Philly, or they will not play Detroit or Minnesota. Those two teams are off the table. It's going to be L.A., Atlanta, Tampa, or the Philadelphia Eagles. I guess, and maybe Seattle if they can beat the Rams. I wouldn't bet on that. Sounds like if Washington wins tonight, the Rams clinch. I still think we'll end up.
Wait a minute. Maybe I don't want to pull a Tom Brady who couldn't remember the team the Packers lost to. But all right, one of those teams will be the 1 seed. The Packers could be the 7th seed. Then they would play the 2 seed, right? 2 plays 7,
Correct.
3 plays 6,
Philly.
4 plays 5. Which would be either
Philly would be the 2.
Could be Philly or Minnesota.
Rams would be the 3. Atlanta would be the 4. Tampa. So they're not going to be the 5 seed.
All right, wait.
They're going to be the 6 or 7. They're either playing
hold on.
Philly
Okay,
or
hold
the
on.
Rams, more than likely.
But the top 3 seeds are going to be Philly, Detroit, and Minnesota, right? Or not? No. The loser.
Minnesota will be Minnesota.
They have to be 5 or 6. You're right. Okay, now I got it. Sorry,
Minnesota
I
or
did do Tom
Detroit will
Brady.
be 5. They are
Correct.
not going to have to play an NFC North team
I got it.
until the second
You're
round
right.
of the playoffs.
The
and they'll have to beat Philadelphia or the Rams. And I think both games would be difficult, but Philly's banged up. I'll say this.
Yeah, but either
I think
Minnesota or Detroit is going to be a wild card, and that means the Packers can't play them in the first round.
Packers won't play them until
Right.
the NFC Championship.
Correct. Okay,
game. Yep.
got it. Thank you. I did a break.
So when I look at this, Philadelphia is good. Philadelphia's got a good squad. Saquon and their run game. Hurts will probably be back. I think Green Bay needs to go big next week. I don't think they should rest their guys. I think they need to go and have a great showing, throttle the Bears, and get a little momentum. I don't want to see, until they get a big enough lead, I don't want them resting Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs. I want them playing, getting their group, and finding some rhythm, even though everybody will say, it's a crappy team and all this other stuff. I'd like to see them throw 21 or 28 up and then rest in the second half. I don't want them sitting out all next week and then just think they're going to flip a switch. That switch hasn't flipped when you've played good teams. I want to build and have some momentum going in where you're probably going to face a team that is resting guys in Philly and or the Rams.
Okay. More calls for Tauscher. Yeah, I mean, we discussed it short, but Jaden Reed just can't. He's just not as good as I thought he was. I don't know.
So
you can't,
I think one of the
unless he's hurt. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is. He is not. Teams have slowed him down for whatever reason.
Yeah, I want to know how.
I think today, and why I was so enamored all offseason with the wide receiver position is because there's a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to that receiver room. And what we saw today were drops. Way too many. We've seen that way too much. I would argue this game, if our guys don't drop the football, and that's with the O-line not playing great and Jordan was under pressure, he makes that catch on 4th down. We don't drop one in the flat early in the game. How many drops did you see the Vikings have today with their top 2 guys?
Off the rack, I'd say none. Maybe it was one.
Yeah, I don't know if there was one.
Well, they didn't
it
have
wasn't
that many
from
passes
Jefferson,
or it wasn't from
They
Madison.
were
33 of
Sam Darnold
43.
had a day.
Sam
Darnold had a day.
Sam Darnold was 33 of 43, and he should have been better. He had a couple of bad passes, and he was still 33
Should have had.
43.
Well, that happens with pressure. He also could have thrown 2 more picks.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand on this hill, and there are going to be arrows fired.
Yeah.
I don't want Sam Darnold as my quarterback and I get it. He's been good. He'll be done. He will not be Minnesota's quarterback next year.
Should be.
He's not.
Well, then
Maybe.
they're stupid.
It's a discussion that you can have. Bottom line is, I think Minnesota's wideouts are more consistent. They know who they are. And tonight is an example of why having that dog is so critical. Justin Jefferson draws coverage. He allowed, what's his name? I don't even know the guy's name. Naylor.
Nicely done.
Naylor.
Their 3 receivers are better than all the Packer receivers, right? Or
their
close.
top 2 are.
Yeah.
I think their top 2 are. Yeah. I wouldn't go all 3. So the whole concept this offseason about the Friends cast and having a great ensemble, and that stuff's all cute and great. But Tom Brady, who I know people are panning as an analyst, he said at the end of that game, when you get to be where you need it, it isn't about drawing up all these plays. It's about what do our best guys do best. That's what we're going to do. And what did they do? They got JJ on a crossing route over and said, we're going to have our best beat your guy. And then you get to a 3rd and 2 and you run that little bootleg, which is something. And
this is where I get mad at play-by-play guys. Hey, Tom, you said they're going to go to these guys, which may be right. Ham caught the first catch for 13 yards. Ham, you didn't even know he's on the team. The last guy who catches the catch is
Good
Akers.
fullback.
He's a backup running back. They didn't go to their stars. Jefferson caught one pass. 2 of the 3, and the 2 most important were the guys no one's ever heard of. Now, I like Tom Brady. Why do you get away with somebody saying that when, hey, you were wrong, now say you were wrong in this situation? Yes.
They weren't wrong. Because the money was on the table. Hold up. The money was on the table at 2nd and 12. A lot of teams would have handed the football off. That's where you say,
the first play on 1st and 10, you have told us how important the first play is on a big series. Now you're telling me it's not the most important play? 1st and 10? Go ahead.
It was before the 2-minute warning. The bottom line was you needed to make a play. You get Rashawn Gary makes a play at 2nd and 12. That's where, as a play caller, you're like, whatever our best is with our best player, this is where we need it. Because
they didn't
you
even
get the 3rd and 13.
Down on it. They needed to go to Akers on a 3rd down play. The backup running back, which Brady wondered why the hell Jones wasn't in the first place. Jefferson didn't get them a 1st down.
2nd and 12, he got him 10.
Fine.
You can't run that little bootleg play on 3rd and 2 if you don't make that play on 2nd and 12. 3rd and 9, Green Bay gets the football back, and
if 3rd
probably
and 9 you go to Jefferson, then you can say they went to the biggest player. At 3rd and 2, you and I, and this is going to be my next question, how the hell is that guy, nobody within 5 yards of him, it was the identical the play they played on ran on 1st down,
it's
right?
It's a busted coverage because you're selling out to stop the run on a 3rd and 2. You'd made a calculated guess that you needed to stuff them. You didn't. They out-schemed you. I thought Kevin O'Connell ate LaFleur's lunch today. LaFleur has got to – I love his passion. He's got to get himself under – I feel like he lets his emotions get the better of him too many times. He is just over there and just – you see and feel – players want to see calmness. You want to see a coach go crazy from time to time. You can't be every 3rd down that doesn't happen or every penalty. It can't be every time something bad happens, there's a blank storm. Like, there has to be some kind of, all right,
I want to
this
join
is going to be all right.
I want to be vice president of this club. I want to join this club.
We're going to handle this. And it just feels like in some of these big moments, in these big games, he wants, you know, I love the fact he wants it so bad. You see it. You feel it. Players do too.
Okay,
and
now, hold on. I don't want to stop this, but I want to give you a private meeting with LaFleur, okay, about this. What would you tell him?
Stop it, though.
No, I know, because I want you
Calm down. Don't make everything
Okay.
to be the biggest thing in the world. You have to let some stuff roll off your back. Is Andy Reid freaking out every time there's a penalty on a Chief, or when they don't convert a 4th and 3? Like, he's not. Matt LaFleur gets really animated, and that's part of his charm. But you can't ride the wave. And by the way, he told Aaron Andrews his team played tight in that first half. Well, why? You're the trendsetter of this group. You got to be relaxed. This game, in the grand scheme of things, guys, this wasn't a playoff game for the Packers. It wasn't. This should have been we're a free-flowing group. We're going to go for the gusto. 4th and 2, let's go for it and take the touchdown instead of kicking a field goal early. That's the flow of the game today. Because in the grand scheme, if you are aggressive and you're playing loose today and you get beat, you can live with it. You played a really tight first half. And I think Matt LaFleur and how he approached it was a big part of that. So we can all get after, they didn't pass protect, the defense. All of it's true. All of it. But I think Matt LaFleur, I would really love to see him level out and be more even-keeled during a game and be selective with his outbursts rather than every time the camera pans over, it looks like somebody stole his dog. Like, it just, I don't know what else to tell you.
Don't stop. I'm thinking you might just have to leave because I don't really think there's anything the rest of the show you can do better than that. Can we send a copy of that to LaFleur? Can we do that? Would you be okay with that?
Listen. I think Matt LaFleur is a really good coach.
I know.
I think he's a really good play caller. I think he lets his emotions get the better of him on challenges, on things that he can't control. As a coach, you're always telling your players, don't get upset and bothered about the things. You control what you can control. That's what you have to do as a coach, too. And when you don't do that, everybody feels that. I thought today was one of those days.
All right, we have to do flush it or flesh it. We're going to decide as to whether or not Tauscher is going to let us send that to LaFleur. We'll also take your calls. 1-800-990-3776 is the Boda Box wine line. Do you want to do Tito's now, or that was really good?
It's always time for Tito's.
Oh, okay.
Tito's handmade vodka. It's America's original craft vodka, distilled from corn and gluten-free. You can visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof, and it is crafted to be savored responsibly.
And people are getting close to an hour for waiting, so we'll get to them too.
Let's get them.
Next.
Let's go.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Night will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Gift giving is easy with an Island Resort and Casino gift card. Every person on your list can spend their time just the way they like it. Dining, going to a concert, relaxing at the Drift Spa, playing golf. No matter the reason, gift cards to the Midwest's premier resort destination are a sure bet. To order gift cards, stop by the Island Club today or call 877-ISL-SHOW. Then spread some joy because everyone knows your total experience is at the Island.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law Offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law Offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law Offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law Offices.
'Tis the season for celebrating, so why not make your holiday gathering unforgettable? Give your team or clients an experience they'll talk about long after the new year with V Private Bar Services. Forget the same old office party. With custom cocktails tailored to your brand and a top-notch mixologist team, V Private Bar Services brings the magic of a high-end bar to your event. Make this holiday season extraordinary. Visit VPrivateBar.com to book your premier party today. That's VPrivateBar.com for your next unforgettable event.
This holiday season, the Salvation Army needs your help. Bell ringers are working hard, and our service depends on generous donations like yours. Every dollar donated helps us provide meals, shelter, and emergency support to families in crisis, not just at Christmas, but all year long. From immediate need to long-term care, your donation can create lasting change in our communities. Join us in making a difference. Volunteer as a bell ringer or donate today. Visit salvationarmywi.org to learn how you can help.
Whether you're about to graduate high school or have been in the workforce for years, it's time to take control of your future. Welcome to Lakeland University, where you call the shots. We use our flexible learning formats to customize your degree path. In-person, online, and virtual classes are all available. Lakeland University is designed around you, your goals, your schedule, your future. You can even earn up to 25% of your degree via paid work experiences. Ready to take control of your future? Let us customize an education to fit your needs. Visit lakeland.edu/ESPN to learn more.
Get ready to haul away big savings with Fleet Farm's end-of-year bucket sale. Just pick up a Fleet Farm 5-gallon bucket in-store for $3.99. Fill it up with whatever you can fit inside and save 15% on everything in your bucket, including clearance. But hurry, our bucket sale's 4 days only, December 26th through the 29th. So bucket up and save while you can at Fleet Farm, home of the best prices guaranteed. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Anyway, let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 4.75 to 8-ounce selective varieties Frito-Lay Lays or Kettle Chips, 2 for $5. 18 to 80 count selective varieties Hefty Trash or Kitchen Bags, $7.99. 7.9 to 11.5 ounce selective varieties Bear Creek Dry Soup Mix, 2 for $7. 14.3 to 26 ounce selective varieties Farm Rich Appetizers, $4.99.
And now time for the big reveal, free groceries.
Try this. Win free groceries from Century Foods.
With free groceries from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by January 8th.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ. React to the game by calling the Boda Box Wine Line, 800-990-3776.
I'm going to give that ball to our back. That offensive line's got to know. We're going right through you guys. Show me what you got.
Jacobs again, left side, touchdown, Green Bay.
The G&G Game Night. Packers lose 27-25 to the Vikings. Homer along with a Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher, and they've been waiting almost an hour. Jason and Tosa, you're on with Tausch. Let her fly.
Okay, fellas, I have a question as to who got most exposed in today's game. Option A, was it big game Matty LaFleur, who seems to come up small in games like this, and I agree completely with Tausch's view that he gets antsy and tight, and his team reflects that. I mean, LaFleur is 0-5 this year against Philly, Detroit, and Minnesota, and I think he's lost 8 of his last 10 games against Dan Campbell and Kevin O'Connell. You can check me on that. But that's option A. Option B is Jordan Love, who threw for a total of 187 yards, was not sharp, and got way outplayed by Sam Darnold, who threw for 377 yards. And I think it's worth noting that Sam Darnold is just 1 year older than Jordan Love and makes $45 million less money this year than does Love.
Yeah, an offensive lineman blocked for him once. Love's numbers were like 68 yards. Jordan Love would have thrown as well and had as many yards quarterbacking for the Vikings as Darnold if he played for the Vikings today. Tauscher, what's your thoughts?
I'll go to.
We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you, Jason. Tauscher, what about Darnold versus Jordan Love?
Yeah, Jordan Love's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. I understand today is not the day for me to argue that, but Sam Darnold, I think, he's using this system. He has got 2 great wideouts. He's got a good tight end. He's got a good offensive line. That's all great. I'm giving him his flowers. He played a great game today. Yeah, go ahead, finish up.
So, how about option C then? Because Homer mentioned the offensive line for the Vikings. The Vikings lost an all-pro level left tackle this season. Their GM did not sit on his hands like our GMs do in Green Bay. He went out and traded for Cam Robinson, who made the 12th overall pick outside edge Rashawn Gary look like a journeyman today. The same Rashawn Gary who our GM gave $96 million to. LVN, who was drafted 13th overall, did he get in the box score today? We've got Devontae Wyatt. He was out with an injury, but he's done very little in his 3 years. And then we paid Kenny Clark a lot of money this year. I think maybe the combination of coaching and GM, can anyone say that up in Minnesota we have the better of those two at this moment? Because I'm sorry, I watched that Minnesota defense. You've got Van Ginkel, Grenard, Gilmore, Cashman, Bullard. What rounds were they drafted in? Or do we have to always talk about how we're the youngest? We have the most players homegrown. I want to win a Super Bowl. I'm tired of hearing about how young we are and about how great we are at keeping our own. Maybe we need to go outside. Our 2 best players this year have been McKinney and Jacobs. They weren't drafted by our current GM. So I want to know who got most exposed, because the truth is, fellas, Minnesota had 400 and some yards. We had 280.
That's because, hold on, no, you can't go with that. That's because they had an interception and they only had to go 20-some yards to score.
Homer.
Yes, that factors in huge in terms of the number of different yards. Did they move the ball better than the Packers?
Homer, let me ask you this.
Homer.
You got anything else before we let you go? Because
No,
good
it's
call.
A, B, or
Very
C.
good call.
A, B, or C.
Okay.
All right.
A, B, or C.
A, B, or C.
Homer, I have to ask you this because this was shocking to me. It was probably middle of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And I think Brady said Jordan Love had thrown for 68 yards.
That's correct. Yes.
That's absurd. That's absurd. I don't care if there's 10 pick sixes and 6 kick returns for touchdowns. You can't throw for 68 yards. Like, that was shocking to me. And I know he ended up throwing for $190 and he had a couple of good drives at the end.
Right.
There is no there's no real excuse when you're not ahead. Homer, this wasn't a game where we were ahead and kind of coasting. We were down the whole game, and he had 68 yards.
I told you why 68 yards.
Quarters.
There was horrible offensive line. They gave him an F. He was pressured on literally every play. Now, maybe LaFleur, you could say this, would have been better off to change what they were throwing. This was, nobody was open, and he was getting, it was like watching Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. Not that I watched that much.
Here's the deal. Yes. When you look at this, there was a couple of things, and I heard LaFleur's post game, and he basically said what I just told you about his lunch getting eaten. They didn't expect as much man-to-man. Flores does a lot of blitzing and then zone behind it, and they don't adjust. They didn't adjust till late. So, yeah, you could say the O-line did not have its best game. No doubt. Too much pressure. Van Ginkel was a problem today. Flores had his number. But you can't look at the game and say, well, yeah, they just got us with man-to-man coverage. You got to come up with some different schemes and some different things. And I would argue you probably don't see all that man-to-man if Christian Watson's playing. So there's all kinds of stuff that is in play with this. But the bottom line today, Minnesota was better. They've been better this season, regular season. Does that mean that this thing is a Rhapsody USA? No. But it does tell you that Green Bay's path, which was going to be tough regardless, is going to be about as tough as it possibly can be, especially if they end up landed in that 7th slot.
And if I had to pick, I would pick D. The difference in this game was the difference in the defensive coordinators. The reason Minnesota is so much better is the defensive coordinator. That's why they're so much better than they've been. Their defense is way better than it's ever been. And they don't even have any good players. Who's the star on that team? You mentioned all these guys.
Hold up. They literally had the same defensive coordinator last year. It's the exact same day. They played him on New Year's Eve last year with the same coordinator, and Jordan Love spanked him. Like, it was a throttling up there. So get out of here with that. Matt LaFleur didn't have the same.
Get better?
Hold up.
Guys don't get better?
Matt LaFleur.
Go ahead.
No, Matt LaFleur's game plan didn't adjust and make things happen until it was too little too late. Period. And you can say the O-line, obviously the O-line didn't get it done either. All of that, you have to adjust. Oh, we can't protect like we normally do. Well, maybe we got to get the ball out quicker. Maybe we got to get screen passes. Maybe we got to do some things that change things up. Maybe. But 68 yards through 3 quarters and change from our $55 million quarterback? That's an indictment on everybody. Don't give me this. Oh, no, there was an interception in the middle of the second quarter. Get out of here with that. You want to talk about a loser's mentality.
Why don't you just explain it? They didn't have the ball much when you only have to go 18 yards, or what was it to score?
Convert some third downs. They did about 1 interception. Come on.
They went 16 yards on that
score.
score.
You've been doing this too long.
No, I disagree with people saying you don't. Now there can be a problem with that, but you have to factor that in when you score and don't have the ball. You have the ball for a minute. Well, we didn't have time of possession. You scored in 1 minute.
He did say time of possession.
Well, yardage too. How many yards can you get when you get the ball at the 16? 16.
Oh, get out of here. Come on.
What, 16 yards is a terrible drive normally, isn't it? Is 16 yards a terrible drive, yes or no?
Hey, convert a third down.
Fine, that would be a part of it too. I agree. You just won't let me add that
You're
part.
Trying to base this all on 1 interception return?
No. I'm saying the difference in the total yardage is to some degree because of that. I already told you what the biggest difference was, the difference in the offensive defensive coordinators. You know how bad
Same
Minnesota
coordinator last
defense
year
was a couple years ago?
Same coordinator last year.
Yeah, I know. They were
absolutely lit 'em up.
31st 2 years ago. Last year, they're 16th. This year, I think they're 3rd.
Hey,
I rest
same
my
coordinator.
case. No, but you
no
watch
Christian
that?
Watson
Fine.
made a big difference in how they approached it today. So
What?
all this interception talk, you're better than that.
What?
Steve? You are.
31st to 16th to 3rd, and it can't be the defensive coordinator. When the Packers ever get, and they did the last time they did, they won the Super Bowl. If they ever get a defense as good as that, they'll win another Super Bowl. Until then, you can forget it. What?
They still gave up 25. I get it. I mean, we're always looking for excuses. Today we just weren't good enough.
I agree with that. I'll give you that. All right, we'll get to more callers.
Right.
They're going to get over an hour. This is Green Bay postgame, and yes, the Packers lost 27-25. And you'd have to have Tauscher. Maybe I will ask him, and we will get to flush it, if he ever thought of starting the postgame early tonight. Next.
Never.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey, riding with you every mile since 1977.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. Whether I'm headed to a big college football game or just need a reliable ride, I trust Accutrans Group. They're a veteran-owned business that delivers top-notch transportation, perfect for game day or any event. From tailgates to team outings to corporate travel and weddings, Accutrans has you covered. Booking is a breeze, and their service is always safe and dependable. Visit AccuTransGroup.com to book your ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com, your go-to for reliable transportation this football season.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Dr. Daniel Holub from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin is joining me. Doctor, what makes an OAW surgeon different from most other surgeons?
At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, we have all fellowship-trained orthopedic specialists. We have all subspecialties of orthopedics covered through our office, so you can see anybody from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes and everywhere in between.
So let's say someone is feeling pain and they finally walk into OAW for that first time. Can you take me through that process of what's going to happen next?
We always start with an office appointment, which will involve me conversing with the patient, trying to figure out what's happening, and then a physical exam. And we have on-site x-ray and on-site MRI if we should need to move into diagnostic tests of that sort.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
You scaled the sheer cliff face, battling frostbite, running low on oxygen. The wind pierced your skin, and every inch was agony. You reached heights no other human had before, while getting nowhere at airport security. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover best-selling action titles on Audible.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free 6-piece boneless wings from Buffalo Wild Wings. Now on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
At Cousin Subs, the bigger your smile, the better we feel.
That's why our menu features something for everyone, like our Wisconsin cheese curds, golden fries, creamy shakes, and mac and cheese, all paired with your favorite sub, or our subs in a bowl. And don't forget our kids' meals, now with a free cookie. Here's to a better day. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
This is Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ. Call the Boda Box Wine Line at 800-990-3776. Flush it.
We failed multiple times with bad ideas. I didn't know were bad till I realized they didn't work.
Or flesh it.
Yeah, that's one idea. Or we can work as a team.
Brought to you by Gordon Flesh Company. Business technology managed. Taking the worry out of your office equipment and IT needs.
Yes, flush it or flesh it. And the question is, if Tauscher agrees to it, of course he controls this, but as to whether or not Tauscher will allow me and us, the show, to send your concern to LaFleur about your wish that he calm down. I think that he seems like a nice guy. I think he would listen to it, and it might change him. And since I and others agree strongly in your suggestion, but you have to flush it or flesh it as to whether.
Yeah, that's not what we're going to flush or flesh.
Oh.
And by the way, Homer, it's already on the interweb. I saw it's posted on our social media channels, that quote. So I'm sure it will get back to, and if it does, great. If Matt LaFleur gets back to it, he can disagree or agree.
But
I
you
think
don't
most
want it
Packer
sent.
Fans,
I would send it in a little envelope.
You don't need to send it.
Okay,
No,
all right,
I don't need
okay.
you to send it.
All
It's in the internet sphere. So I want to know more about what the approach is moving forward from this Packer team with next week's game. Prior to that, and that's what we're going to flush or flesh, whether or not you'd play your guys next week, all of your starters. And you know what? If you're looking for cutting-edge technology, I've got just the team for you. It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's just as true on the football field as it is in the office. The Gordon Flesh Company has been providing technology for companies of all sizes for over, what a great number, 65 years. Visit gflesh.com to learn more. Official partners of both the Wisconsin Badgers and the Green Bay Packers. You joining my club? Got to go throttle these boys next week. Get everybody out there. We're not worried about injuries. Play it. Guys that are hurt, don't play. But anybody else, we go, dominate, get them out, move on, get ready to go play in the playoffs the next weekend.
It kind of depends on where the seeding situation is. You've convinced me you don't want to be the 7th seed, right?
I don't. I think being a 6 seed's better, but
right.
I think both matchups are going to be tough. I mean,
Okay. And
in
if
an
I
ideal
believe that,
world,
that's the
you
only
would have
thing I'm
liked
gonna
to have
be-
found a way to get that 5 spot so you could play Atlanta or Tampa, but Tampa throttled somebody today. Playoff football is always going to be tough. Playoff football on the road is always going to be tough. I think Green Bay is, as we sit here right now, they are going to be looked at as somebody that you better not take lightly, but somebody that has proven that they can't quite get over the hump this year. Now, that can change, but so far through 16 weeks of this season, this is a good football team that cannot beat really good football teams, and a good football team that can beat really average football or below relatively easily. We've proven that that's kind of where we're at.
So why
through
would it
16
help them
games.
to crush Chicago? It seemed to me that based on what you just said, the game becomes irrelevant because they've already proven this, and a
The
blowout
game is irrelevant,
win
but
wouldn't help
Homer,
their attitude.
What's the most important thing
Well, I'm deferring to you
from
on
a
this. but,
psychological standpoint as a professional athlete?
do something that changes
Confidence.
Right, and you're not going to create any confidence. That's my point. You just
You don't know
explained.
that.
Oh, no, but you just said why you wouldn't. We've killed bad teams all year, and we kill another one. Does that make us feel better going against the top? I would say no. But the benefit of
Put this up on the poll. Let's poll this one, guys.
well, but you just said
do you
it.
want to play? I want to see what our fans think.
Okay.
I know what you think. I know.
No,
what
I know,
think.
but I'm
Now I wanna see
confused on what you think because You've said they've determined this, but you played. If you've beaten all the bad teams and you can't beat the good ones, how do you benefit from them beating a bad team the last week? Aren't you better to rest because it's going to serve no positive influence because you're doing what you're beating your little sister. Does beating your little sister make you better at beating the bully? And the answer is no. But
I think I don't look at it from that perspective.
Okay.
I'm going to look at it from Jordan Love had a up and down, mostly down day. The O-line had a mostly down day today.
All right.
I think the offense had a mostly down day. I think the defense would love to get some positive juju going when it comes to pass rush and some turnovers. You can get all of that, and you can do it in probably a half to maybe 3/4 of football.
Okay.
Plus, young football teams, I don't necessarily think you need to, unless there's lingering injuries. I don't think sitting out and then just thinking you can flip a switch that following week, I don't think we're there yet with this group.
Okay.
So I'm a believer in confidence is everything in professional sports. And while we as fans don't look at it that way, and as media, players always go to their last performance and say, well, I was pretty dang good. Oh, I had a pretty good day. All right, now let's build on that confidence. If Jordan Love throws for 303 tutters next week, I'm guessing he's going to feel a heck of a lot better about himself and where he's at with this offense than if you go off of I had 68 yards in the middle of the third quarter.
He's that fragile?
It's not about fragility, Homer.
Right.
It's about confidence.
All right. I would – okay.
Not everybody is Kobe Bryant. There's some guys that you need to see the ball go through the hoop.
Right, and
Get
you
it
would,
through the hoop.
Well,
all
yeah,
of a sudden,
you'd know that way better playing with him. I'm going to defer to you on this. I just wanted further explanation of what you had said. Jay in Alabama has been waiting. He's in the Hall of Fame, baby. 71 minutes. Take it away, Jay.
I'll take it, guys. I appreciate you allowing me to be on the show. But, you know, I've called before, and I wish I was wrong. I want to be wrong. But the wheels on the bus are spinning. They're spinning fast. There's smoke coming from the wheels, Homer, but the bus ain't moving. We're spinning our wheels with LaFleur. I don't know what he brings as the head coach. We have said the same things after big games. He says the same things in the press conferences. We dug too big of a hole. We can't do these things versus good teams. So we're never prepared when we play the good teams. Our offense is just so inept. I mean, the first half of both games versus the Vikings, both games versus the Lions, we had 120 yards at halftime today. So that's like low-level 1A high school ball that runs the wing tee. They're going to produce more yards than that. What is his value? We're not ready. He's not a great play caller. You know, we get hot at the end, but it's garbage time. When they went up 20-3 after halftime, it was garbage time from then on out. That's the easiest time in the game for an offensive play caller to call a game. That's the hardest time for a defensive play caller to call a game because you know the offense is playing 4-down ball. They're letting it loose. They're one-dimensional, but, you know, as a defensive guy, you're thinking, do I play man here? Do I give up the big play? Do I play zone? Do I want to give them the easy completions? The wheels are just spinning, and we're going nowhere. I thought the last caller absolutely had some phenomenal points. You know, who got exposed more? LaFleur got exposed once again, in my opinion, and I think Goody's getting exposed. You know, people are hard on Jordan Love. He had 68 yards passing at one point in time in the third quarter. But my question was, who's open? Is that on LaFleur to get guys open, or is that on Goody who's drafting guys who can't get open? You know, that the offensive line's getting outplayed. Do we need to change the blocking scheme a little bit? Is that on LaFleur? Probably not so much. Is that on Goody? We're getting guys who can't really play. I mean, I don't really see us being any different now than we were when Aaron Rodgers was here. We're not really beating anybody that's better than us. And I wish I was wrong. I wish I could say we'll beat the Bears next week because the Bears still suck. We all know that.
Well,
we're probably going to be the 7.
They beat Dallas last year in the playoffs. That was of significance, right?
Yep.
You
yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. 100%. 100%. And then we had a chance to beat the 49ers, and we just choked. But going 1-1 in the playoffs is not a Super Bowl run. And I just feel like that should be the standard. I don't think the standard has changed in Green Bay. It should still be, how do we win a Super Bowl? I'm afraid we're no closer now than we were last year when we had the brand new quarterback and we had the youngest team. Well, we still got the youngest team, but all these guys, especially on offense, they were in Dallas. What in the world has happened? We look so inept in these big games until it turns into garbage time. I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on that. I appreciate you guys.
You bet. Thanks for waiting 70 minutes, Taus.
Boy. Homer, are we closer to winning a championship this year than we were last year?
Yes.
I agree.
They're better.
But what are we basing it
offensively? They're better offensively and they're better defensively, and they've scored that. They've proven that more against bad teams than good teams. But
Homer,
I think my eyes tell me that they have Cooper. They didn't have Cooper last year.
Yeah. McKinney.
They have
Jacobs.
McKinney. Yes.
Why were we able to have some big boy signature wins last year against really good teams? We beat the world champs at our house. And if you remember, I came on the air and did the postgame and said, I'm not saying, but I'm saying. Do you remember that?
I do. Yep.
We haven't had one of those all year.
That's correct.
Have we had one?
No.
So what makes you say we're better? Hey, Homer, we went up to Detroit last year in Thanksgiving, splattered them, ruined their Thanksgiving. We did the same thing up in Minneapolis against this vaunted great defensive coordinator you're telling me about, and we shredded them.
Well, for example, Minnesota has improved more than the Packers have since last year. Detroit has improved more than the Packers have last year. And Philadelphia has improved more than the Packers last year because of adding their running back. So the Packers are better, but the elite has gotten better. That's my answer to you.
So Green Bay is further away from a title than they were last year.
Yes, or from a Super Bowl appearance. Yes. Yeah.
That's a title. Yeah.
Well, no, you can get the Super Bowl and lose, or an NFC title. Yes, they're further away from an NFC title, even though they're better. Yep.
Boy, I don't know what the answer to that is. It seems like after today, you have to say yes.
Right, until they prove it and do something in the playoffs.
Even though everybody agrees that we're a better football team than we were last year at this time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. You left out some of the losses they had last year as well. Right?
So the question is, playoff football is about rising up and being able to to win big games and tight games. There have been plenty of teams. Favre's teams lost to an 0-10 Colts team.
Yep.
You can have some clunkers. This team it is a rare year. 0 clunkers, 0 big wins. It's the most mundane regular season you're ever going to find from a really good football team.
Right. There's so many really bad teams this year. The gap between the haves and the have-nots is larger than ever before.
Yeah, but, Homer, even with really bad teams, they still find ways to win games they shouldn't, or good teams will find a way to lose.
Not many this year, or so they've said.
It's really tough for me to argue that point because the cream has definitely risen to the top of the bulk tank this year.
All right, let's get to somebody else's. Who's the next person away? Brent in Texas is over an hour or two. Let her fly, Brent. You're on with Tauscher.
Hey, guys. Great to talk with you. Hey, I want to talk about just a few plays that I think we haven't talked about yet. I mean, that offsides call and the missed field goal, phantom at best. I haven't seen one replay yet that confirms that guy was offsides.
You're speaking of Cooper,
for it
right?
On a fourth down instead of kicking a field goal?
Yeah, they called Cooper. Yep.
Yeah,
bad call.
Have you seen an actual replay that shows he's offsides?
No, it was a bad call.
I can't say I have.
Terrible call.
And then LaFleur went for it on a fourth down there instead of kicking a field goal. And that was another play that kind of came back to haunt them late in the game when they lost by 2. And to kind of touch on your last point, Homer, I don't give LaFleur any credit for beating Mike McCarthy. I mean, he always chokes in the playoffs. I mean, goodness gracious, I've watched enough 15-1 Packer teams to watch them lose to a Giants team to give him any credit for beating him.
So it's not only a good team, but we have standards. Okay, yes. Like it's the definition of, you know what the definition of a big game is? For, if you don't like LaFleur, you know what the definition of a big game is? Anyone loses.
I would say the Packers are a B-plus team this year. They beat all the C teams. They beat all the D teams, all the F teams. They don't beat the A teams. And until they can beat an A team, they're just not going to win Super Bowl.
All right, so just so I know, who are the A teams? Because I'm afraid they might beat one, but then they'll become a B team after the Packers beat them. Who do the Packers have to beat in the playoffs to impress you? I assume
Philly, Detroit, or Vikings.
Okay, one of those three.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
I'll join that club.
Yeah,
and I'll also say it's a little bit interesting that the line finished at Vikings -1.5, and we lost by 2. Just saying.
It's funny how that works.
Those people are really good.
They're good at their jobs.
That's why people are now starting to try to investigate first half scores and thinking that Vegas hasn't figured out about how to do first halves, and you can do.
I bet Vegas does fine on first half scores too.
Yes, it's all about which is the easiest of the very hard. If you're playing LeBron and Horst, are you going to try to hit threes or
who are we rooting for next week? As Packer fans, do we care?
You mean Detroit and Minnesota?
Yeah.
Whatever you tell me makes it easier for the Packers. That's the standard for everything. What?
Well, who do you think we match up with better? I would say Minnesota's beaten us more handily than Detroit has.
Given the injuries to Detroit defensively, I would rather play Detroit than Minnesota.
So we're rooting for Detroit to beat Minnesota next week.
Well, how does it work? I haven't figured this out. So if we want to play Detroit rather than Minnesota.
We would want them to be the 1 seed, because then if we win next week, we'd play them. Or we'd win the first round. We'd play them coming off of a bye.
Because we'd be the lowest seed, whoever the lowest seed is remaining.
Which is dumb, too. We should, and at some point, whenever my rules get put in place, the Lions should be able to pick their opponent.
That is your greatest. I think that's your greatest idea ever. Do you have an idea that you think's better than that? I've told you how you got to
I have
get
a couple of other ideas that are pretty good.
I mean, but you really think another idea is better than that one?
I just love this idea because I know it's entertaining, and that's what the league wants.
Oh, it would change
everything. They want to be
entertained. They'd have special nights, right? You'd have a special, a special meeting, and everybody would love it. All right. So do we got? Let's see. Andrew in Illinois, 80 minutes. Oh, baby, Andrew's special. You're on with Tauscher. Let her fly.
Hey, Tauscher, actually, I'm calling in to kind of fire at you two. I called in a couple of weeks ago, and Homer, you laughed at me about offering T. Higgins a blank check. I believe that blank check should still be on the counter. As in, Tauscher, you think that Goody walks on water. We pay Rashad Gary, we pay Kenny Clark, we pay Jair Alexander. And when it comes to Kenny Clark and Rashad Gary, my dog laying on the floor by the TV gets closer to the quarterback than they do. His first-round picks, besides Jordan Love, have been awful. Stokes, Van Ness, Morgan. This team, LaFleur, I think he's doing a good job with what he has, but this team's a mess. When it all comes down to it, our high-paid guys, Clark and Gary are some of our highest-paid guys this year, and they don't contribute at all. What are the answers to that, fellas?
Yeah, obviously tonight we did not get enough pressure on Sam Darnold. There's no doubt. And the big question mark has been, we've seen more sacks. We've seen more turnovers with Hafley in this defense. Kenny Clark is still a very good football player. I get why people look at Rashawn Gary and are disappointed. He has not been that elite pass rusher that we all hoped he would be, and I thought he would be. But there's, on the flip side of that, there have been plenty. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick question, Tauscher. You played in the league for so long, and of course I'm not around. I'm 5 hours away in Illinois from Green Bay. How does Goody miss on the character issues with Jair? Like, is it becoming a Bakhtiari deal, or is it just becoming a Jair deal where he doesn't want to play? Like, how do you pay this guy? You know, we brought Charles Woodson up there, and Charles had his issues.
Well, Charles Woodson was no. By the way, Charles Woodson was not
anything for a champion.
He was miserable his first year in Green Bay. He had to work through it.
Correct.
Jair Alexander was a great first-round pick his first 4 years, till he got injured.
But how do we pay him?
And then they paid him. I get it. I understand. I don't know. I think we always have to be cautious when you're dealing with injuries and how this is shaken out. I don't know all of the backstory. Is there something there? Yes. Would we love to have had him out there today? Sure. Something's up. They're being very protective of the scenario.
Well, I can tell you
that's
what it
their
is.
right to do.
He's hurt.
Huh?
He's hurt. Okay? He's got the injury. And
why
then,
is he practicing 3 days
hold
a week?
Hold on.
But Homer, he's played half.
Wait a minute. Hold on. He was hurt, and then he. Hold on. No, forget the years. I'm just talking about this year. So that he said he could play. He came back and played and left after 10 plays. To which they said, we can't do it that way. So here's how it works. You practice, do whatever you want, but until you believe that you can play in an entire game, you're not playing. That's what it is. And the doctors have clearly given an indication that they think he could play more than he believes he could play. And you know this, Tausch. You can't publicly rip a player because you just can't do it. So he has a bad knee. The doctor thinks he could play more than he is. They don't want the one they had before where he said he could play and then he played 10 plays and get out. If you can play, Jair, you have to be able to play the whole game. If you can't, we're not counting on you. That's exactly what's going on. The future will not include Jair, probably because he's been hurt too much as of late.
Tauscher and Holber, do I have time for one more comment?
Sure.
It was the second or third drive when we got our field goal. It was a third down. I don't know if it was third and goal, but it was third down, and we completed a pass to Musgrave.
Yeah, 3rd and 7 at the 8 for 4 yards to Musgrave.
And I noticed on that play, Tucker Kraft was not on the field. I guarantee you back in the past, Gronk would have been on the field, Kelsey would have been on the field, Gonzalez would have been on the field. Why is our best option not on the field on that play?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
We'll
have to ask Tausch. I mean, there were times when Jacobs isn't in. Jacobs wasn't on the field late. Wilson was in.
Yeah,
and made some
there's
good plays.
certain packages, and it is tricky, but Tucker Kraft is our best tight end. No ifs, ands, or buts. He should be out unless he's tired. He should be on the field.
He might be. Is he their best red zone guy? Who's the best red zone guy?
Tucker Kraft? Outside of Josh Jacobs, yes.
Tucker Kraft.
And then Dobbs maybe be third, right? All right.
Well, Tucker Kraft has been
excellent point,
Absolutely.
Andrew. All right, did we do flush it or flesh it? I think we did kind of, right?
We have. Yes, we're all set.
Did you give your nice information about Gordon Flesh that you normally do? Oh, okay.
That's yeah.
Okay, good. We'll break, and there's somebody else, and then Tausch is going to be done soon. We'll get his final thoughts. Gary Ellerson will be in later. Jason Wilde will be in later, and I'm shocked at why it's so obvious to me what's going on with Jair, and everybody acts like they don't know. What am I missing? He's hurt. And they're not going to play him until he says I can play the whole game. Because they tried the other way.
When guys are hurt, they don't practice 3 days, think they're going to play, and then not go.
They aren't deciding it. He's deciding it. So however he practices, whatever he does, it doesn't change anything until he says he can play a whole game. He's right.
Fair enough.
I mean,
I don't know. You must know more than
I don't know.
Else,
I have no inside information other than that.
I know you don't.
Other than that,
was my point.
Well, that's fine. But that doesn't matter unless I'm inaccurate. All that matters, I don't care if I get it from a raccoon. Inaccurate. No one's been able to say anything. No one has disputed my premise. And part of it is that the doctors can say that they think a player is ready to play, but when you have Jair, you're not going to try to put him out on the field. Or maybe they did, and he played 10 plays and got out. They don't want to give up a spot, as they stated, to somebody that they don't know is going to be able to play. They've been there. Jair, when you can play a whole game, let us know. Until then, you're not playing. Doesn't that seem to make sense, given what occurred?
It does, but again, you're talking about a guy that is full-on practicing now. He does 3 days, and then he's inactive.
Right.
Something's there. I don't know what it is, and always check when guys are asking questions and you're getting, well, that's a medical thing. I don't know. There's something there. I don't know what it is. You seem to think you have a better idea. That's great.
Well, it's a medical thing, but he can't say, yeah, the medical thing is this. The doctors think he should be able to play. Jair doesn't think he can.
Okay.
Right? And teammates expect people to play, right? If a doctor says you can play, you expect that person to play, right? As a teammate. Right?
I would say if you're able to play and you're healthy enough and you can get out there, you're going to go play.
I mean, do you know of any teammate who the doctors said they were capable of playing and didn't play?
Not in a regular season or playoff game format, no.
Okay. All right. One more segment. Final words from
Homer. Is the sky? I'm gonna finish here.
Okay.
Is the sky falling here?
No. I mean, not to me. Maybe for others.
It just feels like, I know it's a disappointing loss. I get it.
Yeah.
This team is who we thought they were. I'm going to Denny Green it. This is who they are, and they're good enough. Are they good enough to beat the Detroit Lions?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Are they good enough to beat Philly?
Yes. They're good enough to beat everybody.
Are they going to? Probably not. But we act like they stink and that they're the New York Giants right now or the Raiders. They're not.
I don't.
Are they Philly? Are they Kansas City or Buffalo? They're not. But their margin is razor thin. They proved it again tonight, playing a bad game for 3 quarters and change, and they still almost found a way to win and keep it in. So it is this right now. This is the 3rd best team in the NFC North, the 4th best team in the NFC, and their road is going to be very arduous. Are they going to do it? Odds would tell you no. But we all know as Packer fans, this team is good enough to win a playoff game. And then they're good enough to win another playoff game. And then another. But the odds of that happening gets more and more difficult as your seeding keeps dropping and as you have to go through a tougher gauntlet to try and do it.
Well, what does arduous mean?
Tonight kind of set that gauntlet. Huh?
Arduous?
Yes.
Have you ever had a football coach ever use that word in your life?
Sure.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, I played for some smart coaches.
I didn't say they weren't smart. I just said that doesn't seem like a football word to me.
Arduous is not a tough word. It's pretty mundane.
All right, always a treat. I think you're letting a few people influence what you think.
I just want to reiterate. My thoughts are my thoughts.
Right.
I had to eat a little crow because I thought Green Bay would beat Minnesota. I thought we're better than Minnesota. You know what? We're not. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't be chomping at the bit to see these guys play again. I love it. I hope Minnesota beats Detroit.
You still believe the Packers could beat Minnesota. That hasn't changed.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
We'll close on that. By the way, we had your comments up, and I always wanted to check because you weren't happy with one quote that was said one time that got you as part of hold on just a second here.
Oh, no. That was something that you guys did about firing LaFleur after a win.
Yeah.
You and Gary were talking about it, and I think one of you guys thought, or somebody told you, and then you put me on it, and people are saying, what the hell are you talking about? I don't want Matt LaFleur. I think Matt LaFleur's a good coach.
I do too.
I think he got out-coached tonight in a big way.
As big as a way. All right. This was Mark Tauscher quoted. Tonight is an example of why having that dog is so critical. That wasn't the first one. Oh, man, they got a lot of your quotes.
Yeah.
You are.
Big night.
Yeah. No, it was the one about now they got you eating his lunch. That was good. They are the 3rd best team in that. No, it was like, hold on, I got to go back here. I'm keep going. God, you're just taking over. They are not. This was the first one. The Packers are not good enough to make a ton of noise in the playoffs as we sit here right now. Are you comfortable with that
right now?
And were you comfortable with that as the number one first statement that came out?
As we sit here right now, but if you listen to the full context, I wouldn't have put it that way.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the full quote,
You're more
I got
positive.
no problem with it because I go on to say regular season football is what it is. Playoffs, it's not who's the best team over a 16-week period. It's who's the best team for 4 hours that day.
Okay.
And I still believe Green Bay can be, even though everything would tell you that they're not going to be as we sit here at 8 o'clock on the 29th of December.
Thanks, Tausch.
See you guys.
More green and gold post-game coming up next.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and cola, refreshing Bacardi lime and soda, or a smooth spiced and cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
Winter is here. Don't let your car care take a backseat. Protect your car against rust, salt, and grime this season at Tsunami Express Car Wash. Tsunami Express makes cleanup a breeze with their state-of-the-art wash technology, powerful free vacuums, and convenient unlimited wash memberships. Try their new best-in-class T2 with graphene wash for the ultimate long-lasting shine and protection. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at TsunamiExpress.com.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ. Call the Boda Box Wine Line at 800-990-3776.
They've got to play fast, executing the passing game.
done yet.
This is Green Day Game Night or G&G Postgame. I'm Homer. Mark Tauscher gave us his performance. Outstanding. And again, joining us now is Gary Ellerson. He had some comments, Gary, Tausch did about LaFleur just getting too excited. And I said, well, I'll make a tape of this and send it to him. He kind of thought, well, it's on the internet. He could see it. But do you think a coach would listen to a former player, or would have any impact at all? If you'd be another example. Somebody says, I heard Gary say this and send it to the coach. Do you think he'd actually listen to it, or?
Well, I don't know exactly what Mark said.
He just said he gets too excited. He needs to calm down. He just during games, every third down play, there's always some. You look at him on the sideline, and he just gets so. I don't know, concerned. I can't remember the exact words. But I'm saying, would you ever think, I've only done it once at Marquette, where I called the then president. Since I've been there 35 years, that's once in 35 years. But I don't know, is it a waste of time, or if you like somebody, do you say, I just want to send something to them? Maybe
I'm going to ask you, did you think Matt LaFleur is out of line today?
It's not out of line. It's just I understand what he's saying. You see him, he just gets too intense over things that just aren't that important. So
it's an issue because he's the play caller.
Yeah.
It's an issue if it's involved with him calling the next play.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't seem like it's much of an issue for you at this point.
I mean, I understand what Mark is talking about. I think you got to be who you are.
Right,
and your players will jump on board with that.
Oh, okay.
To me, I mean, we made fun of Dan Campbell for a long time. Look where he's at.
Yeah, and he
hasn't changed.
No, I think he might change in the playoffs.
I mean, I'm just saying, but his attitude,
right.
his persona,
what you say to coaches is be you.
Yeah, it hadn't changed.
Okay.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe this is new NFL. They're not as stoic as we would like for them to be. Maybe Matt LaFleur isn't as stoic as we would like for him. I'm trying to think of any other coach. Dan Campbell is the only other coach that comes to mind that's kind of out there like that.
Yeah.
I can't think of.
Ditko was out there.
What about Sirianni?
Yes. He's out there.
He's out there like that.
Right. And they've questioned
so Dan Campbell, Sirianni, Matt LaFleur. Any others you can name?
No, I want to get your opening statements, but Jim in Saukville has been waiting 81 minutes. I don't know what the record is, but he's getting close. Jim, you're on Green Bay Game Night. You don't hold the record, but it's close. We're going to put you down as the record. Was it 81 minutes? Until further notice, you now are the all-time longest ever. I love this show so much, I'm waiting into a next life. Yes, Jim.
I've held that record multiple times, so I think I'm breaking my own record.
That's fine. Good point.
That's neither. So if you want to assess that as dedication, so be it. I proudly embrace it. Now, I'm getting a little older, so given it's 81 minutes, give me 5 seconds to collect my main point and make sure I pose it succinctly so it's understood the way I want it to be understood. This is my thing. Early in the year, and tell me if either of you guys disagree, I think it's fair to say we anticipated this would be a season of growth and improvement for this team as time went along, and that at the point where we're at in the season now, we would expect to have seen that trajectory to improve along the way. One of the reasons I'm looking at
Hold
it
on,
is
I'll
not
let you
so
finish,
much for
but the reason I stopped is because Gary had it. That was one of the first to say it, right? Mm-hmm. An adjustment to an adjustment. Do I have?
And that's what you're seeing right now.
Yeah,
big time.
So the adjustment was adjusting to last season, and now you're adjusting to it, and then we're curious to see how well they adjust.
Go ahead.
So I think we had expectations in that if we were going to get to the Super Bowl, this young team would have to progress, would have to get better, would have to stay on a trajectory of an improvement. And now I'm concerned, not so much for this year. I'm looking ahead into next year, and this is the question I'm posing to you.
What's that?
I'm not seeing that trajectory. I am looking at the pass rush and the defensive line. I'm not seeing that improvement. And the question I'm putting out there, does that mean we have to make some personnel changes because the individuals, and you can fill in the blanks, I think we know who they are, aren't progressing good enough, and that means we have to replace them?
Well, let me ask you this real quick. Would you think Adrian Cooper is a ascending player?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Excuse me.
So
Hell
he's not,
yes.
So he's not as good as he's going to be, right?
Hell yes.
He's not as good as he's going to be, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Would you
say that?
Yes.
Would you say that Valentine is an ascending player?
Boy, that's a good question because I've been told that when both of them were making the transition to playing one-on-one to zone, they were getting it better. So I'm going to lean towards yes.
Okay.
How about the defensive line, Gary?
Well, wouldn't you say Devontae Wyatt, although he got hurt, over the last 2-3 games you've seen him, is an ascending player?
If there's anyone on the defensive line, I guess I would put him in that category, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Gary.
I think maybe we know what Kenny Clark is at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
He's
a question mark.
Right.
He's good, but he doesn't tilt anything.
Right. I think we know what he is.
You can't count on him like you can count on Cooper to make a play or two where you go.
Yeah, no. Here's
and he's not part of that ascension. He wasn't one of the guys we're hoping to, right?
He's
Correct.
not. So
right.
all you need is Xavier McKinney. Do you think he's an ascending player? Or you've seen it all?
Well, he's ascending for the team. He's made the team significantly better.
Yeah.
Yes, he's ascending.
So I would say after that, and that's why I started on defense. The defensive side of football is ascending. Absolutely. I think maybe we agree or disagree with that with certain players because Cooper got an opportunity, a chance to be, and I hate doing this, but he's got a chance to be probably the best middle linebacker they've had in a long time.
Amen.
And so, I mean, what we think about A.J. Hawk, we think about Nick Burnett, we think about...
Was it Martinez, Blake Martinez?
He's better than Blake Martinez.
Well, he's better than all of them.
Yeah. So, we haven't seen... So, I say this to say that, and you want to get into my early... Offensively, we have issues.
We do?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And which we didn't think that we did, but the defense, I feel like there's a ceiling that we haven't gotten to yet.
The offense hasn't been as explosive.
The
as you
offense has issues.
Oh, we have to get to those issues. Jim, give us your final word. You've earned that
Jim,
in 70. Do you have a final word that you want to say?
I missed Jim, by the way.
Yeah, I think my question with regards to off of this game is very disappointing in terms of the whole ascension and improving. Why I didn't see a better pass rush. The other thing is I would pose the same question collectively to the receivers. Are they progressing? Are they getting better as a group within the same context of the idea of are they improving collectively enough where we don't have to tweak anything there?
I like the T. Higgins money. All right, we will address that, Jim. The offense, and Gary brought it up in the wide receivers. Thanks for your call. We'll break. Sean will be close to an hour when we get to him next, along with Gary on the offense.
Yes.
Next.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Get your hydration on track with Water Joe. Water Joe has 0 calories, 0 sugars, 0 artificial sweeteners, and 0 carbs. Get a liter of Water Joe at your local Kroger, Pick and Save, or Metro Market for just 99 cents now until January 5th. Just purified water infused with a kick of caffeine. It's a great alternative to sugary sodas, sugary coffee, or energy drinks. Get that liter of Water Joe for 99 cents through January 5th at your local Kroger, Pick and Save, or Metro Market.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. It's simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. And again, you can win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Cousin Subs is spicing things up this fall with a new sub and a delicious shake. The Chipotle Cheesesteak Sub with either grilled-to-order chicken or steak features pepper jack cheese, sauteed green peppers and onions, jalapenos, and Chipotle ranch dressing. And that's not all. Pair your Chipotle cheesesteak with a delicious mint shake and your taste buds will fall in love. Order in-store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Ho, 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 my back.
Santa?
Ho, 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 Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Yes. Next year, how about just asking for a Pella gift card? My elves are used to designing windows from other places where they're all pretty much the same. But Pella? Ho, 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 so many customizations and designs. My elves aren't qualified, so Santa has to put in some overtime. Ho,
Let me make a call. BRB.
Frighteningly fast pellet team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
Yeah, I know. Santa already lectured me. Ask for a Pella gift card.
What if you need new windows or doors, but you're on the naughty list?
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
Ho, ho, ho! Visit the Pella site, and to all a good night.
PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2024.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a generator from Adams, Wisconsin's #1 rated Generac dealer. Adams provides sales, installation, maintenance, and 24/7 service from all locations. Learn why Adams is your best choice in providing power peace of mind. Visit adamspower.com today.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. It's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee, and with holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust AccuTrans Group to handle all of my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or festive celebration, AccuTrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
It's away from the play. Little sidearm, nice accurate throw.
Players on the field at the snap. The penalties declined, result of the play. Touchdown.
Wow. Oh my goodness. We got a game.
Wow. I think Tom Brady's actually getting better. This isn't an aside because he's, I think, being less concerned about what people might say. He has to be willing to say stuff
Greg
that
Olson's
people don't
way
like.
better.
He is right now. Because
Okay.
Tom Brady didn't talk to me.
He's ascending.
Yes, he's ascending. Tom Brady talked
Brady.
to me. I can solve it right
Yeah,
away.
his ceiling's gonna be-
Don't listen to anybody. You say what you see. That's all we want. Now, I don't know how bad do you want people to hate you when you say that was a stupid play or figure out how to address it or stuff like that. Remember, you're talking to junior highs, but don't listen to anybody who tries to tell you what you should do. We want Tom Brady to be Tom Brady. Now
Yeah,
we start
but-
to...
I'll give you a yeah, but.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that former athletes have when they move into this seat here is telling the truth.
Right.
Just so you know.
I know, because they can't tell the truth.
Just telling the truth.
You can't tell the truth. That's where it starts with, right?
Telling the truth.
No, you
bro.
can't tell. I know you can't tell the
That's
truth.
The biggest thing.
So you have to figure out how you can best tell the truth without really telling the truth,
Yeah,
right?
That's the dance.
Yes,
man.
that's the dance. Yes. But you can
It's telling the
also
truth.
tell what happened. Tony Smith has a great line. When I say, how does this happen? He goes, players mess up. Like, they just mess up.
Yeah, they do.
Well, then what do you want to do? Will you tell me exactly what messed up? No. But I'm just telling you that wasn't the plan the coach had. So if you're blaming the coach,
Which
you're
most people do.
wrong.
Most fans do.
Right. Sometimes you might, like the end of the game with the Bears
Mm-hmm.
and their clock management when you can.
Well,
But
he had to go.
he won't say which player did it.
No.
But he will say this. That was not the plan. And that's helpful for people to know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That probably happens a lot. I mean, I feel like it'd be hard because you can't tell the truth.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it is. It's tough. It really is, because you should think you're in the locker room when you're not. But you're getting paid to do something else.
Right, but but in the locker room, everybody agreed you could say stuff in the locker room that
Yeah.
never left the
Yeah,
locker room.
yeah,
So
but
that part,
now-
you're used to it.
Yeah, now you're outside.
Because you look at it and you go, man,
Sharing
I
information.
could tell something really good.
Man, I know I can, but I can't.
But I can't.
Got to hold it down.
So
Turn the
there's-
mics off, Homer, then I tell you when I turn them.
Yeah, but there's still stuff
Like that.
that's helpful for people to learn.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
You know, like you're talking. Well, we'll get to Sean, then we'll get to your offense.
Let's go to Sean.
Sean, he made it over an hour. He didn't set the record. The record tonight is 71 minutes, right? 81. Sean is at 67.
What's up, Sean?
It's a nice try, Sean. Let her fly.
Good evening, guys. Homer, my condolences to you in the championship game.
We're playing in fantasy championship game. He crushed me. There's no connection.
Not over.
No, there's no way. Yeah, it's over. There's no way I could have won. It was just a bad week. But generally, he beat me every week. The one time we played in the regular season, I had like 150 points and still lost.
I like Sean.
But anyway, go ahead, Sean. Congratulations.
Anyways, I think the coaching let the team down tonight. Gary, I appreciate your thoughts on that. I mean, first of all, not kicking the 3 points early in the first quarter to make it a 6-7 game, I thought that was a mistake. I don't know the logic of going for 2 when you're down by more than 2 scores, unless you were thinking the whole time that you wanted to win by 1 with a field goal kick rather than tie. And while I appreciate that, if you miss, then you got to get 2 touchdowns. So really don't understand that. Totally agree with Tausch that.
Well, hold on,
he's
let me
emotional.
interrupt. I think if I have the numbers right, if you just kicked the field goal, you'd still win by a field goal at the end. Or would it be a tie?
Correct.
I mean, I have to. But go ahead. Sorry.
But had they missed the 2-point conversion,
Correct.
they would have been down by 4.
Right.
And then we would have had to go on for a touchdown. So I don't understand that, Gary.
Wasn't worth the risk.
Yeah. When you're on the team, like you want to go for it on 4th and 2, but in a close divisional game early in the first quarter, isn't it a no-brainer to kick the 3 points? I mean, it was 20-yard line, so it would have been a 37-yard field goal.
Here's why I would have kicked the field goal. Because you got a good kicker. It's not the dude that we had before we cut this guy and when it got this guy. Now, had we had a bad field goal kicker, then I probably would have went for it. But there is really no reason why you McManus is hot. He's hot as a kicker in the league right now. Go take the points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's the last
agreed.
field goal?
And then
who's the last kicker we had? What's that? Anders Carlson?
No, we had the guy after Carlson.
no.
Narveson.
Well, anyway, Anders Carlson, Narveson.
Yeah.
If we had any one of those guys, I'm going for it. I just saw Anders Carlson
totally
a couple of weeks ago miss a kick for the Jets.
Yes.
And Aaron Rodgers was just not happy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Sean. So the coaching, what?
And here's the overall on the team. I think we're a good team, but we are going to have to catch all the higher seeds on off weeks to get to the Super Bowl. That's where we are at this point. We don't have the best quarterback in the NFL, and that's what, during Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre's career, we were always able to mask Goody's mistakes, deficiencies in receivers by great quarterback play. And while Jordan Love is a great quarterback, I don't think he can put the team on his shoulders and make it happen yet.
Let me ask you this.
Sophomore year, I'm going to give him time to develop.
Real quick, let me ask you this. Well, you talked about quarterbacks in the playoffs right now. Let's just say quarterbacks in the NFC in the playoffs. And where would you kind of rank Jordan Love? Okay, here's Jared Goff, Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Hurts, Stafford. Am I missing anybody?
So Jalen's been to the Super Bowl, so I would put him number 2. Love, I think, is tied for second with him and Baker because they both had the same playoff experience, and then go from there. I mean, Goff, he made it to the Super Bowl with the Rams early on.
So you wouldn't put Goff in front of Love?
No.
You wouldn't?
No. Not in terms of raw talent. I just don't think he has the ability to put the team on. And quite frankly, I don't think, Jared Goff has the ability to put the team on his shoulders either. I mean, he came up short against Buffalo in a shootout game. I think his coach allows him to play 4 downs, and that's why he has success.
And what about Daniels? Jaden from
he's fantastic. We omitted him.
Would you put him in front of Jordan
They're playing
Love?
right now.
Would you put him in front of Jordan Love?
Ooh. You know what he did to the Eagles last week, getting them downfield and winning the game? That was pretty impressive.
He was.
I watched that game, and
yeah, you're just deciding when you're going to say he's better than Love. You're just not saying it yet, but you've come to the conclusion you think he's better. He
is. No. I mean, Love is not a running quarterback, and I think that's a extra dynamic that Daniels has that Love doesn't. I mean, he can, get out of the pocket, but he can't make. Rodgers and Daniels, they were all able to escape and run for first downs when there was nothing there.
Yeah.
Jordan has done that sometimes, but, and he's maybe has an injury, a nagging injury, but I'm glad he's our quarterback. I think he just needs one more year to become great, and along with the rest of the team. But again, I think we need to catch every team on an off night to win the games at this point, just because we don't have the ability to force our game plan and agenda down their throat.
See, I disagree.
Onto the good team.
I do too, because I think I can be done for one game.
Yeah, I disagree.
I can't be done for 3 games. You're going to need some help to make a run, but to do one game, I think they can.
Here's why I disagree.
Okay.
You got to have Christian Watson. He means so much to this offense.
Yep.
So much. They don't play. The Vikings don't play all that man if Christian Watson was playing.
That's true. But
sure?
Positive, 100%.
It was like a collective team jump tonight. The line was bad.
Whether he catches it or not, Christian Watson is a threat on the field. He tilts the field. You have to be ready for him, whether he catches or not.
Even with that kind of a pass rush, you didn't have enough time to get over?
Yeah, it don't matter because it changes what they play defense.
I would love to have somebody address the percentage, not just in this game, but other games of that would be true of every team, right? You can't play as much man-to-man when he's on the field.
Can't do it.
Okay, all right.
Thank you for the phone call.
Thanks, Sean. Do want to mention the Boda Box Fine Wine Line, 1-800-990-3776.
You guys got any Boda Box here?
Didn't bring it, but I should have. Tailgating season, Boda Box Wine is your winning beverage with 4 bottles in one eco-friendly box. It's perfect for sharing and easy to bring along. Quality in every sip. Botobox. Be open to anything. Please drink responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Yeah, I know what's coming up next. The high energy play of the game. So the offense,
yes.
Before we take a break, it isn't explosive enough, or the receivers, they're good, but they haven't become scary.
Here's the problem.
Yes.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
After the second half, the bye week,
yeah,
Jordan Love has not been himself. Would you agree or disagree?
I guess I would probably disagree. What?
Because the offense has moved to 8.
You're correct, right.
So now...
But that's not because Jordan Love isn't playing well.
I think it's hurting Jordan Love right now. Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love, going to have to get together and figure out what's that mesh, what's that happy medium.
Because you wanted Jacobs to be used more.
Yeah, I want Jacobs out front. But now you got to bring that marriage together, and it feels like Jordan Love is playing not to lose. I mean, his passes are all. It just feels like he's tight. It just feels like he is not free flowing. Just feels like he's playing not to make mistakes. You got
there are no wows anymore.
You know.
Yeah.
You gotta let him. You gotta. Well,
that's
you gotta let him.
A wow can be a number of different ways.
You got somehow they gotta figure this out. You gotta let Matt LaFleur. You gotta let Jordan Love be Jordan Love. You gotta take the good with the bad.
Because you have Kraft who's even.
You can't overcoach him. I see a lot of these coaches overcoach players.
So how do we know? How do you know? All right, in the offense,
handcuffed.
how do you know when you're supposed to pass, but then you got to run more? Or
well, I don't know, and that's why he's making all the money. That's why he the head coach of the Green Bay Packers.
It seems like the Vikings have that figured out.
They got it figured out.
Yeah.
So, and this is part of, I think, the problem with this offense right now. Jordan Love is no longer Jordan Love anymore. You got to let Jordan Love throw in the double coverage every once in a while. Just got to. That's who he is. And live with it.
Because you need that to be explosive.
He needs it to be explosive.
Because all right, so it's not that he is a game manager, but he's feeling like a game manager.
He's tight.
All right, okay.
He's tight. You can just see him.
Is that tight for fear of the interceptions? You don't want to throw an interception?
I don't want to make a mistake.
Okay. My answer was back when he was making them, you throw a touchdown pass, you can make some mistakes.
Let it go.
Oh, all right.
But now you can just look at him. He's just so concerned about throwing interceptions. He's not himself. So they've got to try to get that married together.
While Tauscher wants to talk to LaFleur, you want to talk to Jordan Love and LaFleur together.
Correctly.
Yeah.
You are correct. I need for that relationship to get cleared up, because I'm telling you right now, it is not smooth. I mean, it's working, but if they're going to get to the Super Bowl, you got to have Jordan Love free Jordan Love. This is not Jordan Love we saw last year. Okay. Is it? Would you agree or disagree?
I mean, no, I get the wow, but it's a tougher thing because you like the run, and they now are able to run the ball. But
I'm okay with that. But you got to figure out how
to get the wow back.
Yes.
This holiday season, the Salvation Army needs your help. Every dollar donated helps to provide meals, shelter, and emergency support to local families in crisis, not just at Christmas, but all year long. Join us in making a difference. Visit salvationarmywi.org to donate today. More on the offense and specifically the high-energy play of the game next.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Night will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Gift giving is easy with an Island Resort and Casino gift card. Every person on your list can spend their time just the way they like it. Dining, going to a concert, relaxing at the Drift Spa, playing golf. No matter the reason, gift cards to the Midwest's premier resort destination are a sure bet. To order gift cards, stop by the Island Club today or call 877-ISL-SHOW. Then spread some joy, because everyone knows your total experience is at the Island.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
This holiday season, the Salvation Army needs your help. Bell ringers are working hard, and our service depends on generous donations like yours. Every dollar donated helps us provide meals, shelter, and emergency support to families in crisis, not just at Christmas, but all year long. From immediate need to long-term care, your donation can create lasting change in our communities. Join us in making a difference. Volunteer as a bell ringer or donate today. Visit salvationarmywi.org to learn how you can help.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family. Caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
I'm here with Dr. Daniel Holub at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doctor, let's say someone is feeling some pain. That pain, it just will not go away. What's the next thing that person should do?
Get an appointment with one of the specialists at Orthopedic Associates, and we will work through that problem with you.
In your position, you help people get rid of pain. You help them be able to move and be active again. How rewarding is it for you to really see someone regain a certain quality of life?
That's got to be the best part of my job, is seeing somebody that's been struggling either for a short time with a fresh injury or a long time with a degenerative condition, and being able to find a proper solution for them, whether it's just a rehabilitation process or if it's a surgical process, and watching them over the course of weeks to months improve to the point of enjoying life again.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ. React to the game by calling the Boda Box Wine Line, 800-990-3776. The biggest plays.
Love zips it in there. It's caught for the touchdown. Romeo Doubs
to set the tone for the green and gold. It's time for the high-energy play of the game.
Protected as well, firing in the middle of the field. Touchdown in the middle, Jaden Reed.
Presented by Water Joe. Water with a work ethic.
This is Green and Gold, or Green Bay Game Night. Packers lose to the Vikings 25, or I guess 27-25. I can't do 25-27. That's what you do when you add up points scored and points given up. Packers are now 11-5. The Vikings are 14-2. Vikings and Detroit play, and I don't know who can figure out which team you want to win. Everything is important to me as it makes life easier for the Green Bay Packers. So I don't know. All I know is Packers are in the playoffs, and they're going to have to win 3 games in a row on the road against good teams. And while the Packers are transcending, it seems like other teams have transcended a little more.
Well, right.
Detroit has transcended more. Minnesota has transcended more than last year. And that's changed things.
That's a good thought. And I haven't, because I only look at my team. I think Detroit, I don't think they can get any better than they are right now.
Right, but they're better this year than last year, and if they're not, it's only because guys got hurt.
Correct.
They're just kicking butt. And the Vikings are clearly
No one
better.
saw the Vikings.
Right, and I mentioned this about Flores because I thought the difference today was the difference in defensive coordinators.
Yeah.
He just screwed it. But so he took over. The year before he took over, they were Minnesota was 28th. Last year they were 13th. Now they're 4th.
Yeah.
They're just not giving up points.
Yeah.
And so their offense looks that much more explosive because their defense isn't giving up points.
Well,
By the way, the Packers were 2 years ago 17th. Then in Joe Barry's last year they were 10th, and this year they're 6th, which I have brought up as
that
that's
defense. Like I
mechanical.
say, that defense is steadily getting better.
Yeah.
It's not even as good as it's going to be, and that's great.
Yes.
To hear if you're a Packers fan.
That's when the Packers
they're
have won their
even,
only World Series. Their Super Bowls or World Championships going all the way back to Lombardi.
And
they are scary. They have the potential to be scary.
And you've got a punter. No, people don't want to talk about a punter.
I don't.
But Daniel Whelan is for real.
Fine. Yes.
He's good.
Yeah.
And you got a kicker.
Yes. We hope. He's older, so I don't know when he could hit the Rodgers. But yes, they have all those things solved.
Right. And now, like I ended with, we got to figure out that mesh with number 8 and number 10 and Matt LaFleur.
But how are you going to do it? What's the answer?
And here's my other thing. I got a lot of people on my social.
Yeah.
And I feel like you guys don't like Jordan Love, and you guys are overly critical. And I would agree. I think he must play better. But I know Homer hates when I do this. But did you see the passes that Darnold was throwing? Joe was diving, jumping up in the air and all that. They weren't exactly accurate on the money.
No, the only difference in this game was there was a pass rush on Jordan Love every possession.
Right.
And then when there wasn't as much a pass rush at the end, they're just killing it.
Thank you, home team.
And I would say
I'm just sick of all the hate. That we're getting.
See, what I say is I don't think it's hate. They just disagree. That's why. Yeah, they don't think he's as good as you do. And you tell us why. And then you're not going to change them. They're going to hold him responsible if they don't, win a Super Bowl. When in reality, anybody that's followed the Packers with the 2 great quarterbacks didn't win anything unless their defense was really good for 30 years.
Amen.
Now, maybe there'll be a Packer team that'll prove me wrong.
Come
but
on, Homer.
Going back to Vince Lombardi,
yes,
they have won 7 world titles. In every of the 7, they have been first or second in points given up.
Come on, buddy.
The 1 year they were third was Lombardi's last year. That's it.
That's it.
So one day I could be wrong. Favre plays all those years. The year they won it, they were first in offense and defense. The next year, they dropped to about 6th or 7th,
I know you don't care
and
about
they lose.
And special teams.
Right, yes.
They were on.
Yes, correct.
That 96?
Yes.
Yeah, they were on.
Desmond Howard.
Yeah.
Changed it. He changed them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then all the time with Rodgers. 1 year, they were second in points given up. They won the title in 2010.
Preach.
Well, at some point, maybe it'll change where you can win with the defense not as good, but they haven't figured it out in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And now you're getting the closest. They're up to 6th now.
Mm-hmm. And they're not even there yet.
Right. When I know a defense is good? When they're scary.
Yeah.
Somebody about it is scary. A player is scary. You got to watch him. They can turn the ball over. They can beat up your quarterback.
Who's that guy for the Vikings that's scary?
Their coordinator. I don't know who the guy is. I don't know the
Brian
defense
Flores.
well enough. Yes. But, yes,
I'm
they
talking
have.
about player.
Yeah, they have. I just don't know.
Who on the Lions defense that's scary?
Well, the guy who got hurt.
He wasn't scary, though.
Well, yes.
He wasn't scary.
Maybe their defenses just
Those
aren't
guys
as
don't
scary.
exist no more.
They don't?
No.
Cooper's not scary?
No. Them guys don't exist anymore.
Because you're not allowed to play like that.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So if they're not scary, they're not scary, then what are they? They make plays?
They make plays.
Yeah, they tackles for loss.
Yeah, they
sacks.
make plays. Yeah, I think Adrian Cooper today had 4 tackles for loss.
He had 4 tackles for loss. The team had 8.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Figure.
That's all you need to know.
Figure, man.
If a team has 4 sacks and a player has 2,
yeah.
All right? Team has 6 sacks and a player has 3.
Yeah.
That's the player.
Yes.
8 tackles for loss. He had 4.
Yeah.
All right. How about the Let's do the high energy play of the game presented by
High
Water
energy?
Joe. Yeah, what was there a high energy play of the game? I gave him the dog of the game, and this is the play that's unfortunately not going to be remembered because there was a holding call. That was you're a running back. That run by that Josh Jacobs, it was a 19-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Where he stiff-armed the guy like he was his little sister.
Yeah.
And then just kept going on the end zone. And it's lost because it doesn't count. But if it had counted, it would be the number one play they would show on the season for Josh Jacobs. So that's my high-energy play of the game.
The play that wasn't a play.
The play that ends up not being a play, but it was still the best play. I don't want him to not get credit for it.
All right, go ahead. I go with that.
No, but you could have another. I'm thinking.
I'm good.
I thought Dobbs had I'll have the specifics. I thought he had the high energy plays of the game in the sense like, all right, they got to get a first down. No, there's a third down. They needed a first down. I always still think it's Tucker Kraft now, but I feel like they must know Dobbs can get open.
Dobbs is good, isn't he?
Yeah. And he doesn't have that incredible speed or whatever.
No.
And we discussed this. So
he's a possession type receiver, but strong, good hands.
What has happened to Reed? Because I said earlier before he came, I said I was just wrong. He's not as good as I thought he was. I can't say that there's anything, if he was as good as he seemed to be early in the year, you can't stop him. You can't stop Jefferson, for example. Even when he doesn't do anything, there's always the chance and then he does something. Reed has disappeared.
Yeah, he has.
You can't.
Yeah, he has.
If you're really good, it's impossible to disappear.
He has. I don't know. That's a good question. He has disappeared in his offense as of late.
I mean, you played with were Lofton and Jefferson there when you were?
No, just Lofton.
I mean, you couldn't make him disappear.
Paul Kaufman.
Yeah, right. You can't.
No, you couldn't.
Yes.
No, not even with bad coaching, you couldn't make him disappear.
Right. And I thought Reed was that good.
That coaching wasn't very good.
It wasn't necessary to go there, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But my saying, players that
dude stood out anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's unfair because Jaden Reed isn't James Lofton.
Of course not, but he was so good early on.
And he's not Justin Jefferson.
Right, correct. And I'm not saying he was, but I thought he had the ability.
These guys dropped too many passes for me.
Yeah, and Jaden Reed did today. Yeah. The high energy play of the game brought to you by Water Joe. Hydrate and energize with Water Joe. No sugar, no additives, and no off flavors. Just two simple ingredients, water and caffeine. Find a liter of Water Joe for only 99 cents. Ooh, at your local Kroger, Pick and Save, or Metro Market. It's good, and you can get a deal. There's nothing better in life than that combo. If it's good, you'll be willing not to get a deal because it's good. But if you can get it, it's good, and you get a deal. Oh, baby. All right, who's been waiting the longest? Close to an hour. Nate, you're on with Gary Ellerson. Let her fly.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, Nate?
Everybody's bummed.
Hey.
Not everybody.
Disappointing game. Disappointing game. I truly thought we were going to win this game. I called you guys weeks ago and thought we were on a trajectory to have a chance to make the Super Bowl. Maybe there's still an outside chance, but I look at two things. I try to boil it down and keep it simple. To me, there's two main reasons or flaws if we go into the offseason with a disappointing playoff run. It's one, on offense. I think we have a lack of a true number one wide receiver / deep threat, right?
Yeah.
I think Gary alluded to it earlier, talking about Christian Watson. I do think he makes a huge difference in our offense, but he's not consistently there, right? He's kind of hurt out a week here. They don't
have automatic. Yeah.
But if he does enough, and this is how I've always wanted to judge players, I'm not going to ask you. I want to know the people who set the defensive play, the coordinators against the Packers. They tell me how good someone is by how they defend. So even if Christian Watson isn't as good as he should be, if he's what you say, he changes the defense, then you're good.
Right.
That's how you determine good. Yeah. If the defensive coordinator doesn't do anything.
He tilts the field.
Does he? Okay.
He does.
No, and I always thought, I'll take my chances because if I have someone back there, he'll drop it. Or
you look at the touchdown. I don't want me to cut you off. Is it who's this on the phone? You look at the
Nate.
You look at the touchdown that Naylor got
Yes.
Post.
Yeah.
Why was he so open?
Because of Jefferson, I assume.
Yeah, everybody. Xavier McKinney jumped the route on Justin Jefferson underneath.
Right. Because you know this,
and
if you're not close to Jefferson when he gets the ball,
and
you'll visit him at home.
I will say this: not often have we seen miscommunication on the back end of that defense this year.
Correct.
That in that game,
there were a couple.
You saw it.
Yes.
Because of Justin Jefferson.
Right.
He didn't have a monster day. Had he caught any pass at halftime?
This is what I used to say about Dwayne Wade.
Huh?
Even when he's bad, he's good. And when he's good, he's real good. Even when Jefferson doesn't catch anything, he's still good.
Yeah, go ahead, Nate.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, if you take the average fan who doesn't know football that well, they'd be like, he's not that good. He didn't do much today. Well, you look at people across the league watch that game, they're like, look at this coverage you drew. Look at this coverage
you drew. That's my point, yeah.
I mean, the Vikings dominated us with him having a very average to below average day.
Yeah.
And I would say another thing that's telling is if you look at our wide receiver core, take Christian Watson, Reed, Dobbs, Wicks, Melton, any of those guys, not one of those guys would be a true number one wide receiver on more than 5 NFL teams right now.
That may be. I mean, they're good, and if Watson was healthy, maybe he would. I don't know, but it's still a pretty good core. I think the difference in the receivers today was the pass rush. Nobody touched Darnold the whole day, and when Jordan Love had time to throw, he had like 60 yards in 3.5 quarters, and he has time. I mean, Gary, you mentioned it. There were a couple of throws that Darnold threw that were horrible.
They were horrible throws, but they made them.
Yes. So, and Jordan
Love.
That
was going to bring me my next point, guys. And other people have alluded to it, but I think it's a lack of a pass rush against above-average offensive lines.
Yeah.
The only way we're really getting pressure against Philly, Minnesota, and Detroit is by creative schemes, sending linebackers, sending safeties. I went back and did some research. We had 7 sacks against Philly, 2 games against Minnesota, and 2 against Detroit. Half of those sacks were from defensive backs or linebackers. So our front four is not getting pressure against good offensive lines.
And it means he has to gamble more.
So we're going to have to out-scheme them for 3 games in a row to get to the Super Bowl. And I don't know if that's...
But I don't. My answer is I don't think all 3. I think maybe 2 of the 3, or at some point you can just play. The key is, and I can't answer this, Gary, you can. So how much do they miss Jair? What would be different if Jair was back there in terms of the defense and what we see?
Well, you can play more man, which frees you up to blitz a little bit more.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to point to one player, and I wasn't a fan of him coming out of Michigan because I thought he underperformed as a talented stud.
Gary underperformed at Michigan, too. Same way.
Rashawn Gary has never had 10 sacks in a season, and his salary cap hit for the next 3 years is $85 million.
Yeah, he got better than he showed, but he was the number one. He was the number one high school football player in the country.
In the country. But at Michigan,
I think he got paid.
They didn't use him.
They didn't use him
right. Are they using him?
And so he's back to where he were at Michigan
because of the way they're using him
hands in the
now.
dirt. Oh. He was more effective when he was standing up. I don't know if most people notice that or not. Hands in the dirt. He's not as effective.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's way overpaid, and I think that's a big challenge moving forward.
Hey, let me ask you: you think Jordan Love is way overpaid?
Jordan,
yeah.
Well, in today's day, probably not. Because there'll be 5 quarterbacks making more than him in a year, right?
So
they're paying him for what they think he can do in the future. Yeah,
because Sam Darnold's going to break that.
What
next year? Sam Darnold, he'll be making more than.
No, not a chance in the world.
Watch.
All right. So he's 50. You think he'll make more than 55?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Depends on how far they go in the playoffs. You're going to have to. Somebody's going to pay him over 50.
But no, you can do. They can. They could have done
They're
this
not
with
doing that.
Well, but they don't.
Not.
They don't look.
They don't think like you.
They don't think of Sam Darnold as a franchise quarterback, even given the year he had.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Watch.
All right.
Watch what happens.
Well, if the coordinator, if the head coach is deciding that, they think enough of him as a coordinator.
He's having a hell of a year.
He has.
He's having an MVP season.
Yeah. But the MVP seasons are so insanely good. Yeah, all right, thanks for the call, Nate.
Thank you, Nate.
Jason Wilde is coming up in a little bit because we have Boucher Automotive to talk about and also the injuries. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, I guess we'll start with Christian Watson. It would seem to me there would be no way he'd play against Chicago, right?
Yeah, I think they may hold him out again. I don't know if that injury is that serious. It's a bone bruise.
Whatever. I don't even know what those things are.
Bone bruise.
Yeah, but I mean, I call him a track guy.
Yeah, okay.
Track guys are hurt all the time because they're so their bodies are so
tight,
like
Ronaldo Nehemiah.
Yeah, or anybody. I mean,
you remember Ronaldo Nehemiah?
Yes, he's one of the world's greatest.
He played for the 49ers?
Right, a little bit. Nothing special. Watson's a better football player than he was.
No way.
But some just have. They're always. It's like Clay Matthews. People forget. He always had a hamstring problem. Yeah, all the time. What his particular reason why I don't think it was track. All right, Jason Wilde, more callers. We might actually have a couple callers who aren't waiting an hour. Next.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
If you want to win at tailgating, you need to Boatify your beverage choice. Boaterbox wine is the ultimate addition to your tailgate party. This premium wine comes in an eco-friendly box, fitting perfectly in your cooler or trunk. And there's no heavy glass or corkscrew to deal with. One 3-liter Boaterbox is the equivalent of 4 bottles of wine, so it's great for sharing. Bring the wine that wins with wine critics, where there's quality in every sip. Boaterbox. Be open to anything. Please drink responsibly. Must be 21 or older. Boaterbox Vineyards, Manteca, California.
Calling all green and gold fans. Ditch the stress and ride in style to Green Bay with the Milwaukee Broadhouse. With round-trip rides starting at $85 per person to every home game, you can enjoy all you can drink on the bus. No need to worry about traffic or parking. Milwaukee Broadhouse even has a private restroom on board. Upgrade your experience with an all-you-can-eat and drink tailgate package for $30 more. Don't miss out. Secure your seat now at MilwaukeeBroadhouse.com. Let's make every game day legendary.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey. Riding with you every mile since 1977.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and cola, refreshing Bacardi lime and soda, or a smooth spiced and cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Anyway, let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 4.75 to 8-ounce selective varieties Frito-Lay Lay's or Kettle Chips, 2 for $5. 18 to 80-count selective varieties Hefty Trash or Kitchen Bags, $7.99. 7.9 to 11.5-ounce selective varieties Bear Creek Dry Soup Mix, 2 for $7. 14.3 to 26-ounce selective varieties Farm Rich Appetizers, $4.99.
And now time for the big reveal, free groceries.
Try this. Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll We'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by January 8th.
Get ready to haul away big savings with Fleet Farm's end-of-year bucket sale. Just pick up a Fleet Farm 5-gallon bucket in-store for $3.99. Fill it up with whatever you can fit inside and save 15% on everything in your bucket, including clearance. But hurry, our bucket sale's 4 days only, December 26th through the 29th. So bucket up and save while you can at Fleet Farm, home of the best prices guaranteed. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. You heard the final whistle. That means the postgame is ready to roll. This is Green Bay Game Night, powered by ESPN Wisconsin. Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Badgers and Packers running back Gary Ellerson. Here's the Emmy Award winner, Homer.
Packers lost 27-25 to the Vikings. The Packers are already favored by 10 points against the Bears. I thought it would be higher than that. The Bears.
How'd you think it'd be higher than that?
Bears are horrible.
Okay.
Now, they did play close. Was it Seattle 9? Or who would they lose 6-3 or 9-3? Or can't remember who it was.
That was the worst game in the NFL this year so far.
I'm not going to argue with it.
6-3.
Yeah. I want the guy from Detroit to go to Chicago because I want to see if that quarterback's any good.
Yep. Well, he threw a pass the other day. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, one.
Yeah.
But then, can you have less ability to recognize the pocket and the people around you?
For his life right now, he doesn't trust his offensive line.
But then he hangs around forever.
Yeah.
If I got that offensive line, you know what? Every pass I throw,
gone.
Yes, 5 seconds gone.
1.2 seconds.
Yes,
it's
yes.
out of my hands.
I'm not going to get killed. Yeah. He's going to set a record for being sacked, I think. Yeah. All right, let's hear from Matt LaFleur because we got some indication from Mark Tauscher that LaFleur made some admission that he got out-coached, but we need to hear the specifics, and then Gary can judge for himself. Matt LaFleur.
Obviously dug ourselves in too deep of a hole right there. As part of our guys' effort, and they continued to compete and battle, but you just can't do that against good teams. The margins in this league, especially against a good football team, are razor thin. I don't think we were at our best, but that's a credit to them. They in our slow start, and that's me as much as anybody. So I got to be better, and we got to get better, and we got to learn from this and try to move on and get some momentum here. We got the Bears coming in and try to finish this thing out the right way.
Matt, I understand you're keeping these games against these top teams close, but how unsettling is it they haven't been able to finish any of them going into the playoffs?
Yeah, it obviously bothers me. I just think that you can't get down against good football teams, and if there's a lesson there, that is the lesson, because it's tough to come back. I think our guys continue to fight and battle and scratch and claw, but ultimately we just can't put ourselves in a hole like that. And it certainly took us way too long to get going offensively, and if that happens, then this is the result.
What's the clear from momentum? When you take the ball first, you're moving it, and then you get the giveaway and sort of.
Yeah, that's tough. We knew that's their kind of how they operate. They do a great job getting the ball out. They do a good job putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback in the passing game, and then in the run game, giving you a lot of different front structures, getting a lot of hats towards the football. And we knew they were going to punch at the ball. And that's exactly, I didn't actually see it, whether or not it got punched out or we just coughed it up. But, obviously can't happen. And that's a tough way to start the game, especially when you take the ball.
Now, you're the third and one, and they come with formation. What was?
Yeah, it was a tough call. It was a tough call. I don't know. I'll tell you what I saw. And obviously the official disagreed with what I saw. I saw our tight end clearly signal he was off the ball, and I saw Wicks take the ball. I wasn't standing on the sideline, so I couldn't tell you. But they obviously saw it differently.
The keeper penalty, those things add up, right? start.
Yeah, but I'm not going to make excuses for it. We put ourselves in a bad position, ultimately. I was standing right down the line for that. I didn't see it that way, but I'm not an official either, so that's not my job, and that's not what I get paid to do.
Until the end there, it didn't seem like there was many downfield opportunities for offense. We all know what wishy-washy means for your offense. Is that a byproduct of not having?
Well, I think it's a byproduct of their coverage. Did you see how loose they were? I mean, where do you want to just throw it up?
What can you do when the defense is playing?
You got to take the underneath routes and checkdowns, and you got to have time to allow things to develop if you are going to try to take a shot. But they do a good job of keeping a lid on the coverage. That's how they play. We knew that going in, so there was going to be minimal opportunities to push the ball down the field. You got to be super efficient. You got to stay on schedule, because once they get you into third down, that's where they're really good. And I mean, that's one of the best in the league at third down. So you got to stay in front of the sticks or stay out of third down in general.
Do you think Jordan should have been a little quicker checking down a few of those?
No, not necessarily. I got to go back and look at it. I thought there was, credit to them. They came out, played a little bit more man than we were anticipating. They had shown that a couple games. Didn't think they'd get it. We get it. So I think that's part to our slow start is, we got to be able to adjust quicker and have some plays in there that can attack that coverage, and that falls squarely on my shoulders.
You know that locker room better than anyone, Matt. Having lost these really good teams, is there a belief there that you guys can get a turn?
I think absolutely. I think there absolutely is a belief that we can win one of these games. We got to go do it, bottom line. And we got to earn the right to play these guys again. And it ain't going to be easy. It's going to be a tough road, but I think that's a challenge that we'll gladly accept.
Matt, where did you think the way your defense slowed down Justin Jefferson and the way Sam was able to find some of the other times?
Yeah, I mean, they got two legitimate number one receivers, and then you got Naylor out there making play after play. They got a lot of weapons. Hawkinson made some plays. So we just ultimately, collectively as a unit, everybody got to play a little bit better.
The success you guys did in the fourth quarter, do you chalk that up to the defense, or do you feel like you found something on the stretch?
I don't know. I mean, I got to go back and look at it.
The fourth down that you went for, what was the cutoff on where you would have kicked it instead of going? What was your?
Which one are you talking about early on? Yeah, it's just a gut thing. I mean, I've said that a million times. If we feel good about it, then you go for it. If you don't, then you're going to kick a field goal. Yeah, we thought we had a play that we liked, and Jaden went on the route. Jordan worked the weak side. It is what it is. I'm not, you can go, it's a pick a side play. And unfortunately, we picked the side that ended up getting covered. But that's just, that happens sometimes. And it's not anybody's fault. They did a good job covering the one side because ultimately they peeled with our back in that situation. And then there was a backer just hanging for the slant window. So they did a good job of taking that away. And we went back across the board late to Jaden Reed. And I mean, it's just one of those, it was a tough play to make.
On the first one, the standpoint of just having to play, the difference that the 4-3 and 4 just being close to the goal line there and not feeling like you had to play that situation?
No, we did. It's just, it was early in the game, and I thought to take the points was the right play. So, you can second guess all those after the fact, but in the moment, you got to do what you think is right. Yeah, that was a big time play.
The trickle down with the secondary, that was pretty much the only option we had to go with.
Well, I wouldn't say it's the only option. We had other options, but we felt that was the best option to go with. And right now, unfortunately, we're down two safeties, and it is what it is. And but we got to be better collectively.
More, please. So, what do you have to do better against these really good quarterbacks? Darnold, whoever's coming up the playoffs.
Defensively?
Yes.
I mean, you got to get pressure on these guys if they're going to drop back that many times, and if you don't, it's going to be a long day because it's tough to go try to single coverage a guy like Justin Jefferson. Then you got Addison, then you got Hawkinson. Like they got multiple players, and like I said, Naylor was making plays out there, so They got a lot of good players. All right.
Can I ask you one technical kind of question? The 12 men in the huddle, are there procedures in place so that doesn't happen?
Yeah, that was on us as coaches. Like, called the personnel, somebody heard it different, and that's how we got 12 in the huddle. That's the first time that's happened in a really long time, in my time here, and it can't happen because that was a critical penalty. It's 2nd and 5, now it goes 2nd and 10, and now you're in kind of those get back on tracks, get back on track situations, and those are drive stopping penalties. So collectively, we got to be better. We got to make sure that we hear what's called and get the right people in the game. That's not on the players at all.
There he is, Matt LaFleur. He'll regroup. How upset do you think he is at the loss, Gary? Disappointed? Does the comeback have an impact on his view of the game? I know it does, but to what degree?
I think he's got to be thinking, because he's always stressing starting fast, and you had that fumble right away.
Right, and then the new thing was, hey, we're going to take the ball first.
Well, and he took the ball and then
fumbled, and then you still got your butts kicked in the first half.
Defense comes out, do a great job, and get it back again.
Yeah, add one more to the list of starting slowly against the tough team.
I think he's got to be frustrated with the offense right now, where it's at.
Oh, yeah.
He has to be. Their offense is not clicking right now.
Because he expects it, with all the weapons they have, to be explosive.
Well, I think he expects it because he thinks he's a smart enough coach to out-scheme somebody.
Right, and he's got players.
To get them open.
He's got a tight end now. He's got a running back.
I like Christian Watson, but they don't have a special guy.
Isn't Jacobs the special guy or not?
Well, I think he's more. Isn't he more comparable to Aaron Jones?
Yeah. He.
I don't know if I'm talking about. I'm talking about Justin Jefferson. I'm talking about Jamar Chase. I'm talking about Higgins.
That's what the guy said.
I'm talking about. Those guys. I'm talking about. They don't. If the quarterback is not on target, can this guy make up for it? I don't think he has a guy. Christian Watson can sometimes, but I don't think he has that guy.
That's my guy.
No, they don't have it.
Well, I mean, it's not like Kelsey. They have teams where tight ends are that important. Then
sorry, guy's not there.
Well, then they have to go get him. Get one.
They're going to have to go get one. They don't have.
And you would agree with the guy who said they should give a ton of money to get Higgins from Cincinnati.
They need a guy like that in this offense. They don't have one
because they got everything else.
Yes,
and the quarterback needs that.
Yes. Where he doesn't have to be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
Every throw has got to be on the money for him. It feels like for them to make a play.
Against better teams.
Yes.
Because it hasn't felt that way in some games.
When you get sticky coverage.
Yeah.
Did you see that one catch Justin Jefferson caught and they called it back?
Yeah. No, that was equal to the run by Jacobs that they got rid of because of the penalty. That would have been. That catch would have been in the highlight of the season, of the NFL season.
Unreal.
Yeah. All right. So do you feel the same, better, or worse about the Packers after the game as you did into the game?
I feel the same, and here's why. Because now, Homer, I think this defense can give us enough opportunities to score. Get the ball back to score. Shut them down to score.
So the future is the improvement of the defense.
The future right now is the defense.
Because you don't see the offense against the better teams being a wow.
No.
There just isn't a wow.
No.
The only chance would be Watson.
Yes.
He's the closest to a wow.
He's the closest to a
I thought Jaden Reed was a wow, and
No.
this isn't the case.
No.
Wows can't disappear.
No. Not disappear.
Wows wow even when they don't wow.
You're good. That's true. That's good. Did you ever see D-Wade play?
I remember the first game I saw him play.
Yeah.
And then I told everybody how great he was, and the coach got mad at me. He called me and says, "You're putting pressure on him." What? You're just talking him up too much.
Was that Tom Crean?
Yeah, I thought he was going to fire me. He says, "You bring too much." I said, Coach, he's the best player I've ever seen.
And I don't need to see no more.
And it ain't even close.
Right.
And he goes, "You can leave." That's a good done. It wasn't going to convince me.
Yeah,
No, the fascination was, and I'm sure to have this, with George Thompson, who was arguably one of, if not the greatest player. He amazed George. George, before a game, said to me once, I wonder what he's going to do tonight.
George said that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wowed George. And George has passed away, so I'll say this. He never told me. There's no way George ever thought there'd be a player better than he was.
Doesn't it seem like basketball coaches have more personality than NFL than football coaches?
Yes. Because football coach is, I think, more of a manager. There's so many people. The basketball coach can be the dictator.
And then
he can run everything?
What about the baseball coach? They seem to be more like open.
Yeah. No, the baseball is just weird. You play so many games.
They seem to be like, they always have stories.
Yes.
Baseball
but
coach.
162 games.
Yeah.
It's like, to be a fan is like a full-time job.
And they do interviews before.
Every game.
Before and after.
If I became a man, it's the first thing I change. I'm talking to you every day.
Before and after. I'm not doing it.
No.
Not doing it.
Yes. Not doing it.
Not doing it.
We can get done what we need to talk about.
Right.
After every game. I'll talk about the game.
Yeah.
Before the game stuff is once a week.
Yeah. Not doing it.
No. Yeah. We should. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I didn't cover it that much. I couldn't come up with stuff.
No.
The hell am I going to ask today? I just asked him yesterday.
Right.
What?
Right.
We asked him after the game what happened in the game. What else do I want to know?
Next day,
all right.
question.
Work on the offense.
Work on the offense.
Jason Wilde next.
More Green Bay Game Night coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Ring in the holiday season with Carbless. Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 guilt. Carbless is gluten-free, just 100 calories, and is sure to give you that head start on any New Year's health resolution. You can go with fruity lemon or black raspberry flavors or a margarita variety pack. I know the cranberry flavor will find its way to every gathering for me this year. Make your holiday grocery list and check it twice. Be sure Carbless is on it. Let's toast to a full, festive, flavorful sip this December with Carbless. Less is more.
Ewald Automotive Group's year-end sale is here, and we're saying yes to the lowest prices of the year on over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. Yes to 0% financing, no money down, and no payments till March 2025. With Ewald's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle and Ewald's guaranteed lowest price. Say yes to our biggest savings of the year through year-end at every Ewald location.
Go to EwaldAuto.com.
To approve credit on select models, interest accrues from date of purchase. Offer expires month end.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Experience the excellence of Catholic Memorial High School for yourself. Come see why their students gain a competitive edge at CMH. Visit CatholicMemorial.net to schedule a VIP tour or student shadow day. Meet their inspiring teachers, welcoming students, and feel the energy of the CMH culture. All students achieve more than they ever imagined possible. Visit CatholicMemorial.net to schedule your visit. That's CatholicMemorial.net. Catholic Memorial High School in Waukesha, where you rise.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. It's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee, and with holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust AccuTrans Group to handle all of my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or festive celebration, AccuTrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
This is Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ. Call the Boda Box Wine Line at 800-990-3776.
Yes, I want to know the opening thoughts and whatever the first thought is from Jason Wilde as we continue Green and Gold Game Night. Packers lose to the Vikings 27-25. I said the game was not as close as the final score, and Mark Tauscher said, I will not join that club. But that's not what I want to start with Jason. I want to know what, Jason, you're thinking about the Packers or the game or whatever is the most important point to make after this game.
Yeah, good evening, Homer.
Good evening.
Great to be with you from the Twin Cities. Look, there's two ways to look at it, right? And I walked out to the team buses with Josh Myers, the Packers starting center, and I mean, he was really frustrated and downtrodden that they missed this opportunity today. But at the same time, he argued that he still thinks that they're a Super Bowl team. Now, he's certainly entitled to that opinion, and he has, I think, in his mind anyway, evidence that they are capable of that. And he doesn't care about the narrative of how they haven't delivered in games against teams that are better than them. I mean, the first thing I said to him is, you know what I'm going to ask you. You've lost to the Lions twice, these guys twice, and the Eagles. Explain to me why I should believe that you guys are capable of beating any of these teams in the playoffs when he couldn't do it in the regular season. And he's like, I don't mean this personally against you, but I don't really care what anybody believes. I know we've got the guys in the locker room to do it. I know that this loss is going to piss us off and send us in the right direction. So I thought that was one end of the spectrum, right? On the other end of the spectrum, we talked in the locker room with Xavier McKinney, and, you know, he talked about the same stuff, about making mistakes and not knowing how to finish games. But Tim Van Voren said, do you believe that you're on the same level as the Vikings and the Lions and the Eagles? And Xavier McKinney's answer was, quote, I want to say yeah, but right now the story is we haven't beaten those teams, so I can't sit up here and say we're on the same level if we ain't beat them. In order to be on the same level, you've got to beat those teams. And so there's this kind of, they're kind of caught in this, dare I say, purgatory of we think we're good, we have no evidence to prove we're good. And I thought tonight was such a missed opportunity because they did all the same things that they do in the other games where they don't get it done. They started slow. They had a turnover early, right? And in Detroit, it was the fumble by Christian Watson. Tonight, it was the fumble by Josh Jacobs, which didn't, I think it only turned into 3 points, but it's still, like, if you're not scoring, it doesn't really matter if you're limiting how much your opponent scores, because sooner or later, they're going to put points up. You know how good this offense is. They were able to hold, Justin Jefferson in check for most of the first half. So, and by the way, the fumble, I should correct myself, that didn't lead to any points. They got the ball back on a punt. So what I'm saying is that I don't think they're a bad team by any means. I don't think that the distance between them and these other three teams is some sort of canyon. I think it's more of a gulch. But just like them, I don't have any evidence to say, okay, this is why it's going to be different when they face them in the postseason.
Yeah, I thought Cooper could be the difference, and he has been a difference. But
he was great again tonight.
And they have.
He had
when
4 tackles for loss.
When the team has 8 and one player has 4, that player is really important. And that was the case. Yeah, 8 tackles for loss, and he had 4. And the defense. My question was going to be as a follow up, and you alluded to it, is you can be a pretty good judge of what the team thinks. And they're right. If the team believes it, I mean, I think they can certainly pull one off. I don't know if they can pull 3 off, but you have to have also some logic to what you believe, such as what's going to change. You're either going to score more points or you're going to get them to score less, right?
Right. And look, what you just said is exactly what I wrote in my story. They could, I talked to Aaron Jones after the game, too. I went in the locker room, the Vikings locker room, and caught him because, he's one of my favorite guys I've ever covered, and he's such a
Clearly not
you.
The Packer players that wanted to go talk to him, it was just clear, like, I'm not saying they would. It doesn't matter what any rule is, not that there are rules, but, like, they just think so much of him.
Yeah.
It's just so obvious.
There's no doubt, and they should. I mean, I was joking about this, but, like, he had already done media. I had gotten done with the Packers locker room and with LaFleur and Love, and I just ducked my head in there to see if he was still there, and I saw that his gear was still in his locker. Well, he comes out, he just got done, like, in the medical thing, and hadn't even showered yet. He was getting some sort of massage for his, I think he hurt his quad tonight, and he gives me a big hug, and he's such a good and decent human being. But the reason I bring him up is not because I got to see him. It's because of what he said when I was talking to him. And again, I'm going to send the audio because it's really, I thought it was really compelling what he said. And that was, that's a good football team. I watch all their games except the 2 that we played them. And I cheer for them in every game except for the 2 we play them. And they're a good team. They have all the pieces. And it wouldn't surprise me if we end up running into them in the playoffs again, or if they run into Detroit. We have the best division in football, so it's not a knock on them that they didn't beat us, so they didn't beat Detroit. Any given Sunday, you know that. And what I would say to both Aaron and to you, which you just said, is any given Sunday they can beat one of those 3 teams. If their gauntlet was somehow Philly, Minnesota, Detroit to get to an NFC to get to the Super Bowl, or let's say it's LA, which by the way is not the same LA team that they beat earlier this season without Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee, I don't think they can win 3 of these games. They have given me 0 reason to believe that. They have given me some reason to think that they could win 1, but that my reason is largely any given Sunday, as Aaron Jones said. So I think you want your team, if you're a fan, I think you want your team to believe that they're capable of doing this. Obviously, you certainly don't want them going, well, we haven't beaten these guys, so we sure as hell ain't going to beat them in the playoffs. But I think you're also, like you said, there has to be some logic or reality to it. And the reality is, and again, I don't know, Josh Jacobs said after the game that he thinks that they discovered something during the course of this game that is going to make them better and make them better against the Vikings. And my response would be, that's great, Josh. I'll believe it when I see it. And if I see it, I will say, hey, you're right.
And what is it?
Really worked. Yeah, and he, of course, didn't say that. So, look.
You can't even think of anything that it would be, right? I can't.
Well, I would.
If Christian Watson plays or...
Yeah, and I talked to Christian after the game, too, and I'll tell you this. I don't want to miss all the stuff the girls have going on to go on the road again like I used to, but, man, it is fun to be on the road and get guys and talk to them after the game like I got to tonight. I missed that. And so talking to Christian Watson, I asked him, obviously you guys lose this game by 2. You don't play. Evan Williams doesn't play. They lose Zane Anderson, who was filling in for Evan Williams.
And then the defensive lineman.
Right. And I said, do you think do you feel like you guys can beat them if you have all your guys? And he said, I think we can beat them if we don't have all of our guys. We almost did tonight.
Yeah.
But
Wyatt was the one.
The two guys, yes, they lost Wyatt to the concussion. But the two guys that I would say they need, if they're going to have any hope, it's Watson on offense, and it's Jair on defense. And I don't know what to think of Jair at this point. Like, I think if their group, and I know Xavier, I know Xavier McKinney's a really good player. I know that Keyshawn Nixon has proven that he can be an outside corner, and he deserves credit for that. But if they're 5 guys in their nickel package in the secondary are Carrington Valentine, who had a pick again tonight, 2 in 3 weeks, and is playing really well. If he's one outside guy and Jair, even a close approximation to what Jair's capable of being, as the outside guys, Nixon in the slot instead of a rookie and Javon Bullard, and then Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney at safety, I think that's a pretty good quintet. And if that's their 5, I think they can probably match up with just about everyone, including this team, because if you look at what happened tonight, I mean, obviously they did a pretty good job in the first half against Justin Jefferson, but while they were doing a good job against him, obviously the problem was that they weren't doing anything against Naylor, who had a huge game. So, Addison had a touchdown later, and Jefferson wound up finishing. He had 2 catches for 13 yards. At halftime, he finished with 8 catches for 92 yards. So he got loose a few times. But, I don't think you want Javon Bullard having to play as much as he did. I don't think you want Eric Stokes on the field as frequently as he was, although he had a play tonight that he made a decent play on. But the bottom line is I think the Watson piece and the Alexander piece are really important to any chance they have. And I expect Watson to be back, and I don't know what to expect with Jair.
Well, I've said they've told him that we only want you to play if you know you can play the whole game, and so he hasn't told him he can, and if he doesn't, he won't play at all. I mean, isn't that pretty much it?
I don't know that, but
I mean, they tried it once, and he played 10 games and walked out, and what is if he practiced? Nothing matters. He can practice, not practice. The doctors have clearly said that they think he could play, and that is something you can never say about a player, but otherwise it wouldn't be an issue. LaFleur would just say, hey, he's hurt. Well, he's not willing to say it. But anyway, and so, Jair, when you tell us you can play, then you play, and until you can, practice, do whatever you want. But we're not going to gamble, and we can't believe you because we did once, and we're not going to let that happen again, right? We're not going to play a game short one person. So Jair doesn't believe he can play a full game, and so they just continue to wait, and that's something you couldn't say, right? LaFleur, what's the deal? Well, Doc say he can play. Jair says he's not healthy, and so he won't play until he believes he's healthy. And I asked Tauscher, without being specific, can you ever remember a player who the doctor said could play and didn't play? And he said, I can't really.
No.
So, and it's going to be the last year he's with the Packers, but that's not really the issue. The issue is what you brought up. To be what they hope they could be and to be different, he could be different. Right?
That is exactly right. And again, I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever have him be the guy that they need him to be anyway. But again,
yeah, that's a question. But you still think, I don't think there's an issue of if he says he can play, they still think he's good enough to help the team. They'd rather have him out here starting. They haven't gotten to the point.
Year.
What? Yes.
For this year.
But for right now, if my theory is correct and he'd say, all right, I can play the whole game, he'd play, right?
Yeah, they would play him if they felt confident in that, and he would help them. There's no doubt about it.
I do want to ask you one last quick thing, and that is Gary talked about that the teams play more, will play less man-to-man, or excuse me, they can play more man-to-man when Watson's not there. And I've always said, to me, the importance of a player is determined by the other coordinator. How he defends tells me how important that player is. Is it true that teams defend the Packers differently to some degree and can't man-to-man because of the speed of Watson when he's out there, even if the Packers don't throw to him that much.
Right. I'm not sure if that's applicable tonight only because they forced everything underneath tonight, too. Like, there just weren't downfield balls available to them in this game. I mean, I think Jordan forced one or two that weren't even close.
Right, but if Watson's going back there, then the middle stuff might conceivably be more open because of having to address him or not.
No, what I'm saying is they played him as if they were playing Watson. They weren't going to get beat over the top. So there was underneath stuff there. I mean, look at the fourth down play that Love misses to Reed when they're inside. They're at like the 23-yard line or whatever on the fourth down that fails. Like, he's open on that. And whether you think Reed should make that catch or you think Love put it a little too far in front of him, it's probably both. But the reality is that those are the types of plays that you have to give yourself a chance on when a team is forcing you to take all the underneath stuff. And you have to be, you always like to say there are certain things you could be perfect on. They were far from perfect, but that's one of those things where you have to be close to perfect if that's how a defense is going to defend you.
All right. Any last thought that you want to have? I should know this, and I don't. But like the playoffs, are they going to be if Washington's they're back ahead of Atlanta? I think they're going to win. So if Washington and the Packers tie, then the Packers become the 7th seed.
I have not looked into that. I
Okay.
don't know
All
that
right.
for certain. But again, I mean, I can look at the standings real quick.
Yeah, but I mean, Minnesota or Detroit is going to be the 5th seed, right? One of those two.
Right, because only one can win the division.
Correct.
And
so then
winner
the
of the
6th seed
division
is either
probably
then
gonna
Green
be
Bay
the
and
1 seed.
Washington are fighting for the other two.
So right now, if Washington wins this game,
Yeah.
they will be 8-3 in the conference, and the Packers are 6-5.
Okay.
So and they're both 11, and if they win tonight, they'll be 11-5.
Right.
They'll be 8-3 in the conference. The Packers are 11-5. They're 6-5 in the conference. So
And then they play
Packers,
Dallas.
right. So if the Packers win next weekend and Washington wins this next weekend, and they both finish 12-5, Washington would have the tiebreaker based on conference record.
So they'd 6. The Packers would be 7, and 7 plays
And
2,
then
and 2 is
then they're playing Philly most likely.
or it conceivably could be either Detroit or Minnesota. Maybe not. I don't know. One of them has to win, or they're probably playing Philly, right?
There's a good chance of it.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that.
Yeah. What have you
Well,
thought
on that
about?
cheery note.
What? No, I mean,
on that cheery
I
note.
still say they're going to do something of some significance. I'm like you alluded to. The think that they have enough to make that run is something dramatic has to change so that when they tell you we're good enough to win, you go, I can see how you are. Because right now, no one can see how they are, right? There's nothing there.
Yeah, they just don't have the evidence. I mean, it's like the old line in A Few Good Men. It doesn't matter what I believe. It only matters what I can prove.
Yes.
And right now, when you're 0-5 against the Lions, the Vikings, and the Eagles, oh my, you have no evidence that you can beat them because you haven't.
All right, we have the drive of the game presented by Boucher Automotive. My answer is I always have honored the play by Josh Jacobs, even though it didn't count because of the holding. I think that would have been a highlight of the entire season, one of the greatest runs I've ever seen. And, of course, it's forgotten because there was the hold on the play, and I don't want it to be forgotten. So maybe can you put a play in the season highlight that didn't actually exist because of the penalty?
Yeah, as long as you don't show the flag, I think you're fine. I would say that obviously the last 2 drives were both touchdown drives. The dichotomy between what Love did on the previous drives and what he did on those 2, 10 of 18 for 64 yards through 3 quarters, 9 of 12 for 121 yards and a touchdown on those final 2 drives. Of course, let's not forget they failed to get they did have the 2-minute warning and 3 timeouts, and the defense couldn't get them the ball back. They gave up the 13-yard gain on the first play, and then the 3rd down play, they get the completion to Akers. And
there was nobody near either of them. They were basically the same play, weren't they?
They roll out and dump it over the defense because they're expecting the run. Yep. So
okay.
Those are your drives of the game.
All right, Boucher Automotive. How many cars you at? You're never going to catch me, but you'll buy newer cars.
No, but they're great whether you're buying new, pre-owned, leasing, and I obviously always recommend the Greenfield Nissan dealership with my guys Mike Hansen and Scott Foote. They take great care of us, and they'll take great care of you because they ride with you every mile.
And maybe you can give us a little injury report on Watson, depending on what he said. Injury report presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. They do, and there is a difference.
Yeah, so they lose Zane Anderson to the concussion. They lose Devontae Wyatt to the concussion. Brenton Cox left with an injury as well, leg injury of some sort. But, I talking with Watson, they had pre-decided. He worked out before the game, but they'd already decided he wasn't going to play today. But I think that, if they want to play him next week, I think they feel like they can.
Why would you?
And then obviously, I don't know. I suppose there's the idea of just getting him back into the swing of things after missing this game, but and missing most of the second half of Monday night. But the fact of the matter is, the most important thing is for him to be healthy for a playoff game because your offense needs him.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, Homer, take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. I got other stuff to say. Next.
We're back with Green Bay Game Night after this on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month, all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Ho, 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 my back.
Santa?
Ho, 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 Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Yes. Next year, how about just asking for a Pella gift card? My elves are used to designing windows from other places where they're all pretty much the same. But Pella? Ho, 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 so many customizations and designs. My elves aren't qualified, so Santa has to put in some overtime. Ho,
Let me make a call. BRB.
Frighteningly fast pellet team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
Yeah, I know. Santa already lectured me. Ask for a Pella gift card.
What if you need new windows or doors, but you're on the naughty list?
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
Ho, ho, ho. Visit the Pella site. And to all, a good night.
PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2024.
At Cousin Subs, the bigger your smile, the better we feel. That's why our menu features something for everyone, like our Wisconsin cheese curds, golden fries, creamy shakes, and mac and cheese, all paired with your favorite sub, or our subs in a bowl. And don't forget our kids' meals, now with a free cookie. Here's to a better day. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Winter is here. Don't let your car care take a backseat. Protect your car against rust, salt, and grime this season at Tsunami Express Car Wash. Tsunami Express makes cleanup a breeze with their state-of-the-art wash technology, powerful free vacuums, and convenient unlimited wash memberships. Try their new best-in-class T2 with graphene wash for the ultimate long-lasting shine and protection. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at TsunamiExpress.com.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
It started with a whisper, and now it's when I kissed her, and then she met my lips. I can hear the chit chat, tip me to your love shack. Mama's always got a backtrack.
This is Green Bay Game Night. I want to thank everybody. You know who they are. And if you weren't listening at the time, you didn't even know they were on. So, probably my weakest area. I've argued for years at the end of like TV. They list all the producers and all this stuff. No, that's a waste of time. Nobody knows who any of those people are. You're totally doing it so they can hear their name. I'm not in the business of doing a broadcast to make people I work with happy. I'm doing it for the audience. So if I want to please all those people, I'll take them out to dinner. They used to run it on a scroll where they would go through quick because no one would look at it. Now it's I got to mention their names. And I like to think this. And I like to think this person. You think I care? I don't even know they exist. And I still don't know if they exist. I've always thought I'd just make up some names. You know, like somebody you went to third grade with and you want to just see if they're still alive. And I'd like to thank Betty George, the production supervisor. And they call me in and go, you can't do that. And I go, well, and I apologize. The Boda Box wine line, by the way, was great. 1-800-990-3776. Packers lose 27-25, and I apologize. I haven't studied it closely enough. I should. I think the Packers are going to end up as a 7th seed, and that they'll probably play Philadelphia because the 1 is bye. Then it's 2-7, 3-6, and 4-5, and after that is determined by where you are. But and that would be tough. But Packers lose 27-25. Sam Darnold. 33 of 43 for 377 yards. 3 touchdowns and an interception. His quarterback rating, which everybody tended to use for years, is 116.1. And whatever it means, you look at the others. And Jordan Love was 19 of 30, 185 yards. He had a touchdown, no interceptions. His quarterback rating was 91.7. So Sam Darnold, 33 of 43, 377 yards, 116.1. Jordan Love's was 91.7. That seems to me about what it was. And you think Darnold played a little bit better, given the passes he completed. Anyway, ESPN came up with a new rating called QBR. I don't entirely understand it, but I've never liked it because there are situations that come up that make me think the stat sucks. Okay, Jordan Love, QBR, 83.5. Sam Darnold, 79.6. That's not possible. If there is a stat, for example, in growing up that says I'm more handsome than Tom Cruise, you get rid of the damn stat. It's horrible. Any stat that says in this game that Jordan Love was a better quarterback than Sam Darnold is a horrible stat. How do you invent it? Now, I've always thought QBR might give credit for a quarterback that runs. So maybe whatever. Jordan Love had 1 rush for 6 yards, and Sam Darnold had 3 for -3. But 33 of 43 for 377 yards, an average of 8.8. That's an interesting point. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, was sacked once. Jordan Love, 19 of 30, 185, 6.2 average, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And Jordan Love had a better game than Sam Darnold. And I stand by the same. Then that stat sucks. There's not a person alive. And Sam Darnold threw a couple of passes but so what? 33 of 43 for 377. And the other guy's 19 for 30 at 185. And you had 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. He had, what stat tells you that Jordan Love was better than Sam Darnold? You know what the stat that tells you that is? A stat that should be eliminated. Because if I'm in charge of QBR, you know what I do? I look through whatever we have that got Jordan Love ahead of Sam Darnold, and I change it. Okay? Because whatever the number is, say, and they do this, and I think it's great, with former players to compare errors. 100 is average. This is what I think should be in it. 100 is average. If you get under 100 in any rating for anything, like this show today, I think was 135. 100's average is 135. Tauscher was unbelievable. He wants to talk to the coach. It's great. And if you suck, you get like an 85, whatever, I don't know, 70, however you're going to go. So, I mean, Sam Darnold has to be above average. Even if everybody's wide open. 33 of 43, 377 yards, 3 touchdowns and interception. So 116, that would make sense to me. Jordan Love, I don't know how you could say he was above average because he was terrible, though maybe they agree with me that it's all on the offensive line, so he takes no blame for any of the bad passes. So maybe they're agreeing with me with that regard, but still, QBR, and I'll have to. I don't care enough to look it up, but maybe someone else can. And that has to be the answer. That Jordan Love is not to be blamed for all the pass rush that he had to deal with. Like, given the pass rush, he given the pass rush, he played better than Sam Darnold. There's nobody in the world that watched that game that says that. Do you think Jordan Love played better than Sam Darnold? No, I don't even think his family would say that. So get rid of the stat or change the stat so that somehow, all right, so Sam Darnold, 100 is average. Say we give him 120. The best I can give Jordan Love is 100 if I think that the offensive line was horrible, right? If I give them all the blame, I still don't think you could say he did anything better than average. So this was more than you wanted to know, but it wasn't. I just didn't think it would ever come up again to where I could make my point, which I have. And there have been other plays or other games where they said the same thing. And I go, you can't. You got to change that stat. You can't have that position. And there have been other games with certain players, one against the other, where the same thing happened. Well, if that stat has that, then it's a terrible stat. Packers lose 27-25. Other notes, Jacob 17 for 69 and 4.1. And yes, Romeo Doubs, 11 targets. He had 7 catches. And again, the question, what happened to Jaden Reed? He just can't be that good or he's hurt. He had only 4 targets, caught 1 for 6. No, if you're good, you can't be used that little. So clearly he's not as good as I thought he was early in the season. Like who's a number one? Well, they don't really have one. Christian Watson has the ability to be one. He had a stretch of 4 games where I think he was averaging 30 yards a catch. That can qualify as a number one. You don't have to catch many balls when you're averaging 30 yards a catch. All right, Packers lose 27-25. The Vikings, Bears are next. Packers favored by 10, and I think that will probably get even higher. I will close it out after this final timeout. I might talk even more about how QBR sucks, but I'm not sure. Next.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Night will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. Zero sugar, zero carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
Gift giving is easy with an Island Resort and Casino gift card. Every person on your list can spend their time just the way they like it. Dining, going to a concert, relaxing at the Drift Spa, playing golf. No matter the reason, gift cards to the Midwest's premier resort destination are a sure bet. To order gift cards, stop by the Island Club today or call 877-ISL-SHOW. Then spread some joy because everyone knows your total experience is at the Island.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. It's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee, and with holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust AccuTrans Group to handle all of my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or festive celebration, AccuTrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Anyway, let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 4.75 to 8 ounce selective varieties Frito-Lay Lays or kettle chips, 2 for $5. 18 to 80 count selective varieties Hefty Trash or Kitchen Bags, $7.99. 7.9 to 11.5 ounce selective varieties Bear Creek Dry Soup Mix, 2 for $7. 14.3 to 26 ounce selective varieties Farm Rich Appetizers, $4.99.
And now time for the big reveal. Free groceries.
Try this. Win free groceries from Century Foods.
With free groceries from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by January 8th.
At Grunberg Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Night on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ. React to the game by calling the Boda Box Wine Line, 800-990-3776.
But I'm thinking it's time for a change.
It hasn't changed. Still the Vikings over the Packers, 27-25. Of note, Washington, the Commanders, are now leading Atlanta 24-17. It was 17-7, I think, at one time. And in the second half, Washington touchdown, Atlanta punt, Washington touchdown, Atlanta punt, Washington field goal, and now Washington has the ball, and the rookie panics. The few times I've watched it has been horrible, but they'll try to get down and score. But the Washington with a win would all but mean, they played Dallas the last game. It would appear that would put the Packers in the 7th spot, meaning that they would play in, I would assume, Philly. Detroit and Minnesota, only one of those two teams can be in the top 4. So one could be 1 or 2. I haven't looked that closely, but it would appear that the Packers are headed toward the 7th seed because of the brilliance of their division. All right, I do want to mention, I wish I could get over there. I can't because it's getting close to the end of the game. Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee has dozens of self-serve kiosks and over 2,000 square foot video wall, seating for over 200, full restaurant and bar, VIP deck, and more. It's a sports betting paradise. Bet above the rest. Yes, it's a sports betting paradise. It is a sports paradise. I know they would like you to bet, and nobody's ever had to ask somebody to bet. Like, I think, no. But you should realize that it is a spectacular place to watch any sporting event and to eat and have a great time. They've done an amazing job, and certainly it is a phenomenal sports book. And I don't know that many sports books do this, where they make it special for even those few that might not bet. And everybody should say, hey, you want to watch a sporting event, the best place to go to is Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee. And if you don't think that, you have not gone. It's a sporting betting paradise. It is just a sports paradise, too. Bet above the rest. It's been great, and you know how much better it is to be done at 10 instead of 1:30. Oh, baby. And it'll be even sooner next week, is right? That's a noon game, I think. I'll have to look. There's no way they're going to change that. I mean, the only possibility is that the Bears will just quit and not even actually want to play the game. So I don't know. Maybe they haven't yet determined it, but the earlier the better, because it would appear as a strong possibility that it's just an exhibition game that doesn't mean anything. Packers are going to be a 7 seed, and they have to decide what's to do. Even it has no impact on where you are in the playoffs and where you're going to play. It's a blast. Thanks. I'd like to thank Maria McFadden for a great job on the show. She was a classmate in the 4th grade. I wonder if it'll get back to her. Anybody you want to mention to see if we can, you want to make up, you want to add a name? Let's add one name, a producer.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Let's Tauscher Cowie, thank you for coming out tonight. You did a great job.
Yeah, and like your 4th grade teacher. Anybody you haven't seen in...
Oh, yeah. Mrs. Laux, thank you so much.
Outstanding. Did great stats for us. Yeah.
Great.
The behind-the-scene thing. Nationals next, right? It's not the middle of the morning, so have a good evening. This is weird. It's the first time we had an early show that didn't end at 2 in the morning in a few weeks. Next.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.